Immortal Cultivation. I run an internet cafe in another world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251, Chase. And they would not let them catch up easily, because once they caught up, all their efforts would be in vain. No matter what, they could not let these things happen. So in the process of escaping, they put all their efforts into it, so as not to let anyone know what they were doing. In this way, no one would be able to really know their identities, so when the elders were chasing them in this place, those people were actually hiding. The only thing they could do was to create some accidents, preferably to let these elders die without a complete body, so that they would not only fail to investigate the truth of these people, but also fail to go back to report, and then they could easily solve the problem. So those shadows were communicating in that place at this time. These people are really difficult to deal with. I didn't expect them to do it for so long. What's the matter? Anyway, we can just kill them directly later. At this time, the shadows gathered together, and when they talked about these things, there was a hint of calmness in each other's tone. It can be felt that they have regarded things like burning, killing, and looting as ordinary things, so they are so calm. As little rabbits, their evil side naturally makes the only kindness in their hearts disappear completely, which is why they become so bad. If Bai Luo were here, he would be shocked by the evil of these people. Then let them continue to follow us and be fooled by us. Anyway, we can just wait until we feel bored and then attack them. When they said these words, their tone was very calm, and they continued to flee in that place. The elders knew that they had to catch these people before they could go back to report, so they did not dare to have any doubts. At this time, they had been in that place, rushing forward bravely. They naturally had something to communicate with the Holy Land, so they would report to them after they got anything. At this time, they received information from the Holy Land and wanted to ask if they had found the traces of those people, but they could only reply that they had not yet obtained their specific location, so they could only continue to search. After the Holy Land received the news, the elders sighed. They originally thought that those people outside could quickly catch them, but now think about it, when those people were making trouble in the Holy Land, it was not so easy for those elders to catch them. Not to mention that they have already fled outside, so the difficulty will definitely increase. Those people had to report these words to the Holy Maiden truthfully. After hearing this, the Holy Maiden understood that it seemed that he had to find Bai Luo to discuss these things carefully. Bai Luo and the elder had already gone to the place destroyed by those shadows. When Bai Luo came to this place, he was shocked. The scene in front of him was simply unexpected. Because Bai Luo used to live in this place, he was very familiar with these streets and towns. Now seeing that the front was reduced to a pile of ashes, without even a person, Bai Luo was shocked. Are those people really so powerful that they can reach such a level? After seeing this, Bai Luo was sure that it seemed that those copied people really had the abilities of Xiaotu and others. Otherwise, they would not be able to achieve such a level of destruction. They fled a few days ago, and before they fled, they set a fire, which led to the town becoming like this. That's why we have to chase them back. I have already told you before. I didn't exaggerate the bad things they did. Everything is like this, so we must catch them. No matter where they run to, we must catch them. It's just that I have contacted the elders who are chasing them in the past few days. The answers they gave were not very smooth, and they came up empty-handed every time. So if you want to wait for the results, it may take a few days. I hope you can be patient and wait here, since the saint has said so. Then we should not be in a state of hostility with each other, but should cooperate to see if we can really find these people. If you can find out the relevant information, you can provide us with some help. Only in this way can we find them quickly. We can't let them stay outside and continue to act recklessly, because they are against your friends' faces. You should know that if someone gets hurt because of them, the danger caused in the end will cause you to lose some credibility. Bai Luo certainly understood what the elder meant, and he nodded clearly. I know, don't worry, but we still have to find out the specific location of those people first. The two of them continued to wander around that place, and Bai Luo became more and more angry. He didn't expect that someone would actually do such a bad thing in this place with their reputation. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. Bai Luo finally understood why those elders were so angry. At this time, Bai Luo didn't hate them as much as before, but had some understanding. They sat in this place for a while. The people here were still packing their things. When they saw Bai Luo appear in this place, they immediately fled, fearing that Yang Chen and others would appear here and cause harm to them. Seeing this scene, the elder wanted to say something to them, but was pulled back by Bai Luo. Forget it. After we have investigated the matter thoroughly, we can give them enough evidence to prove that these things have nothing to do with us. If we tell them now, they will definitely think that we are deceiving them here. After saying this, Bai Luo could only keep those strange looks in his heart, hoping that the elders could solve all this as soon as possible, so that they would not have to endure it in this place. Otherwise, they don't know what they will experience because of these things. After thinking about this, Bai Luo would no longer worry about it. Since he has learned the important nodes of these things, he can smoothly persist in this place until the whole thing can develop rapidly. After talking about it, Bai Luo now has a certain breakthrough in understanding these things. He plans to go back and talk about these things with Yangzu and others, so that they can understand why these elders hate them so much. So after Bai Luo walked for a while, he said to the elder, "Why don't we go back? I have understood these things." Chapter 252 Understanding. Don't worry, Great Elder. I know what to do. I will try my best to help you in the future. After saying this, the Great Elder nodded happily. He could hear from Bai Luo's tone that he had a way of dealing with these things. Otherwise, he would not express it in this way. Just don't deliberately make trouble here. Then let's leave from this place together. So the two of them returned to where they lived. At this time, Bai Luo returned to his house. Seeing that only Yangzu was sitting there, he knew that Xiaotu and Lengai had gone out to play again. So Bai Luo said to Yangzu, "Why didn't you go out with them? Why are you sitting here alone?" As soon as Bai Luo's voice appeared, Yangzu immediately turned around. At this time, Bai Luo gently sat next to Yangzu and said to Yangzu. At this time, Yangzu laughed and hurried forward to greet Bai Luo. "I can't just follow them when they go out. After all, they haven't seen each other for a long time, so they naturally have to spend some time alone. I'm waiting for you to come back here. What did the Great Elder say to you? Will it help us leave this place? Or do we really have to stay here for a few days?" I'm not doubting the saint when I say this, but I'm doubting whether we have enough time in the future. After hearing this, Bai Luo understood what Yangzu was worried about, and he laughed. "It doesn't matter. We gave them a chance, and they will definitely be able to do it well. Otherwise, I don't know how much time will be wasted. Since we believe in them, we must persist in this place." When Bai Luo said these words, he hugged Yangzu into his arms. He could see that Yangzu seemed to be worried about something these days, and she was not in a very good mood, so she felt a sense of gain and loss. Bai Luo could understand what he was thinking, so he smiled at him. "If you have something on your mind, or if you have any questions, you can ask directly. Don't hide it in your heart. I feel really bad for you when I see you like that." Yangzu was suddenly held in Bai Luo's arms, feeling a little flattered, and she snuggled into Bai Luo's arms, and suddenly felt that the grievances of the past few days seemed to have been poured out a lot, so she whispered, "No, I don't feel uncomfortable." After Yangzu said this, Bai Luo understood what he meant, so the two of them talked in that place, and Bai Luo and Yangzu talked a lot, including everything he and the Great Elder had just seen in that place. In fact, if you can see such a tragic situation, you can understand why those elders are so angry, so we have to give them a few more days to get the truth, and then we can see if things are really that complicated. What method can be used to copy your appearance and attack those people in this place? I really don't understand it. At the same time, I want to know what method they use. However, all this may only be known when the elders sent out come back. Yangzu's restless thoughts were suppressed now. He understood that Bai Luo said this to reassure him and let him not care about trivial matters. I know, I understand the meaning of you saying these words to me, so let's wait here with peace of mind. Bai Luo knew that Yangzu had been comforted by him. As for Zhao too, Len Yu was there, so he didn't have to worry. So they could only wait for the elders to pass on the news. In the next few days, Bai Luo could take advantage of this opportunity to practice well for a while without worrying about those things. Those elders shouldn't come to cause trouble, so Bai Luo's worries were reduced a lot. Those elders who were sent out were very tired. Every time they were full of confidence and wanted to bring those people back to complete the task, but they didn't expect that not only did they fail every time, but those shadows actually planned a trap to make them fall into the trap and wanted to kill them directly so that no one would follow them anymore. All this, the elders didn't know. They thought they were very strong and could still catch those people, but they really underestimated their strength and thought they could defeat them. If it was really according to the actual situation, they were not the opponents of those people at all. These elders still underestimated the enemy, and underestimating the enemy was bound to bring them certain dangers. At this time, the elders continued to block that place. They held their weapons tightly in their hands, ready at all times, and captured those shadows directly after encountering them. But all this was their good wishes, because those people's evasion speed was extremely fast, leaving no trace at all. As long as someone saw them, when they regained consciousness, they would find that they had already evacuated from that place and left no trace. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus book bar published this novel. Damn, how can these people run so fast? Why are their strengths so fast? Why have I never seen them before? After chasing for a day, those people were a little exhausted. They felt that their strength was completely inferior to those fleeing Yang Chen and others, and they were so fast that they could not be found by them, which made them have to wonder if they had any secret moves. Otherwise, how could they reach this level? In this way, they can understand what they have been suffering so far. Since this is the case, most people can't say anything more and can only wait quietly here, hoping that these things can really be as they want. Don't waste time here. Instead of complaining here, we should speed up to find them. Those people are probably still waiting for us. Only after we bring them back can we really determine what happened. Otherwise, everything is just talk. The leading elder began to talk to them in that place. It can be felt that they have different opinions on these things. However, in order to achieve a good result, they will not say anything bad to each other, even if they are dissatisfied. Otherwise, it will easily destroy the current harmonious atmosphere. At this time, they are chasing closely in that place. Those shadows are slowly luring them and letting those elders fall into their trap. Chapter 253 Trap. The elders who were chasing had no idea that the shadows had already set up a huge trap in front of them. Once those traps were triggered, everyone here would be seriously injured. Of course, there were some disciples following the elders. They were all selected by them and were extremely outstanding. They were here just to catch up with those shadows. At this time, they were approaching the trap. The elder walking in front suddenly felt as if he had stepped on something. However, when he looked up, he saw the backs of those shadows. He immediately did not doubt whether there was a trap and continued to chase forward. The others did not see anything unusual, so they followed his pace. Unexpectedly, when they all arrived there, the entire ground quickly sank, and many weapons were shot down from above. Those weapons were very sharp and stabbed directly into the chests of several elders. The whole situation was out of control at once. No one expected that such a thing would happen suddenly. Knowing that there was an ambush here, those people at this time could only shout loudly, "Quick, retreat quickly, they set a trap here." The elders desperately fled backwards, but the power of this trap was too great. The shadows were all in the trap, attached with their own power, so they would not easily escape from this place. The shadows were now standing in a safe place, and seeing them in such a mess, they laughed loudly. "With your strength, you still want to catch us? It's just right this time that those people can't clear their suspicion. Next, you can continue to target Bai Luo and the others." Seeing that they had basically no ability to escape, the shadows left this place, and the elders began to hide frantically in that place. However, this trap was too powerful, able to surround them here, and would not let them leave easily. But the elders understood that they could not stay at all, otherwise, they would not be able to leave this place. They had to wave their weapons and resist in that place, but because the power set by the shadows was very strong, if they wanted to rely on time to wear everything out, it was simply not right. They couldn't hold out until then, but unfortunately everyone hadn't realized it yet, because they couldn't think of any other way. The only thing they could do was to fight hard in this place. At this time, the elder could clearly feel that the communicator in his hand seemed to be broken. He had no way to contact the elders in the Holy Land to get them to come and rescue them. They could only rely on themselves. At this time, they were all seriously injured in such a fight, and only some disciples could barely stand. Most of them were basically on the verge of death. From this, we can know how powerful these shadows are. They were able to do such a thing, and use such a vicious method to destroy the will of these people. The elders understood that this formation was not so easy to crack. If they still wasted time in this place, the final result would be what they didn't want to see. At this time, they could only think of one way, desperately sending a disciple back to report the situation. Otherwise, they would not be able to tell the truth of all this. At this time, they noticed that the people who attacked them showed different faces. One of the elders determined that all of this was the work of imposters, because what they showed at that time was different from Yang Chen and his group. At this time, they finally understood the truth and couldn't help but say it there. I really didn't expect that everything would be like this. It turned out that these people disguised themselves as Yang Chen and his group and attacked us there. At this time, the elders understood that they could no longer slander Bai Luo and his group, otherwise, they would have no way to find someone to help them get revenge. At this time, some elders were barely supporting their bodies. Seeing a disciple who was still struggling in that place and wanted to rescue them, the elder immediately called him over and said to him, "You have a more difficult task. You must pass this news to the Holy Land and tell everyone that Bai Luo and others are not the real murderers, but some people pretended to be them and attacked here. We died here because of their ambush. I will use my last strength to send you out of this place. After you go out, don't look back. You must run out of this place quickly. Do you understand?" After hearing this, the disciple was very anxious, and he wanted to take the elder back. However, the elder knew that he could only use his last strength to send this person out, but it was impossible for him to return to the Holy Land from this place. He could only comfort the disciple, and said to him, "Okay, don't cry anymore. You have to keep your tears to avenge us. We can't die in vain. When you go back, you must tell the elder and the saint that we were all seriously injured by those shadows. So you must let them deal with them. All the hope is entrusted to you. You must tell them the news." In fact, the disciple had been injured, but his injuries were lighter than those of the elders, and he should be able to hold on until he returned. After seeing the elder say this, the disciple understood what he meant, and could only nod with tears in his eyes and tell him. The error-free version is available at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar is the first to publish this novel. Elder, I will definitely pass all this back. I will definitely come back and take them to avenge you. As soon as he finished speaking, he felt a huge force that pushed him out of the trap, and those elders and other disciples died tragically in such a trap. After being thrown out, the disciple remembered what the elder had just said to him, and began to run desperately towards the Holy Land. His tears were already all over his face. Thinking back to the way those people came out with him, he felt very sad. The communicator was damaged, and he had no way to communicate with the people in the Holy Land. Otherwise, they could still be saved. So at this moment, the disciple's heart was full of hatred for those fake people. The elders in the Holy Land were a little anxious. It had been 3 days, and they hadn't made any movement. Bai Luo and the others still stayed here. The weather was good today, so they were wandering outside the Holy Land. Chapter 254 A Turn. They had been staying inside, and felt a little uncomfortable, so Bai Luo took Yangzu and the others outside to breathe some fresh air, and the saint followed them. However, after they had walked for a while, Bai Luo wanted to say something to the saint, but the saint was called back by others, saying that the elders wanted to discuss something with her. The saint could only say helplessly, alas, I really don't have free time to accompany you in this place, so you just have fun. If you need anything, tell others. After hearing this, they all nodded obediently and didn't say anything else. Zioto and Lengai have been particularly happy these past few days. They were finally together, so there was a bit of sweetness in their words. At this moment, they looked at Bai Luo and said to him, it is indeed because of the saint girl here that we can stay so comfortably in the Holy Land. I wonder what kind of news those elders who were sent out have received. Why haven't they received any news yet? Could something have gone wrong? What Zioto said was possible. Bai Luo heard from the elders that they had not contacted each other for 2 or 3 days, so the elders called the saint girl back to discuss whether they should send some people to find them. I'm afraid those people's strength should not be low. With the power of all the elders in the Holy Land, it's relatively easy to fight against them. The saint told me at that time. They are very likely to have copied your power, which means that their copies have the same abilities as you, so it must be a bit complicated for those elders to fight against each other. After hearing this, their expressions were a bit serious, because they all knew what Bai Luo meant by this sentence. After all, they were all masters, so those elders were not their opponents at all. In this way, it can be understood why such a thing happened. If they don't come back, why don't we help them find those elders? Otherwise, if it keeps like this, we can't clear our suspicion and we can't leave this place. Don't we have other things to do? After Bai Luo mentioned this, Zioto and Aoyangzu didn't have any suggestions, and they both listened to Bai Luo's words. At this time, Leng Yu said, I can also go with you. When the time comes, we will fight side by side and we will definitely be able to catch those people. But now we have to determine where they are. Bai Luo and the others could only think of this. After the saint returned there, they found that the elders were still wandering around anxiously. Seeing the saint back, they said to the saint nervously, Saint, up to now, there has been no news from there for 2 days. We have sent them any contact information, but we have not received any response. They will not be attacked more severely, right? I'm really worried about them. When the elder said these words, it was obvious that he was too worried about the safety of the elders who were sent out. Their strength was very strong, but if they really met a master, they were not their opponents at all. But they had been out of contact for 2 days. What happened in the meantime? No one of them knew, so they had to make a decision quickly, otherwise, there would be no way to save them. After hearing what they said, the saint understood what they meant. I will send some more people to find their specific location. Don't worry, we must keep it stable. Everyone discussed countermeasures in this place, and Bai Luo and the others continued to walk in that place. At this time, Bai Luo suddenly found that there seemed to be a dark shadow in the distance, crawling towards this place, but the speed was very slow. Bai Luo could tell that it should be a person. The strength and vital signs in his body were rapidly draining away. Bai Luo immediately realized that this person was most likely one of the people sent out, so Bai Luo immediately turned around and came to the person. This person was none other than the disciple who had escaped with great difficulty. The disciple was now almost out of strength. He could only use this method to crawl to the Holy Land. He could no longer hold on. Along the way, he did not eat or drink and ran back quickly. Although he was not so seriously injured, his wounds were still bleeding. The rush of the past few days also made it impossible for him to be as healthy as before. Being able to hold on here was already the limit, and he felt that there was a power rushing towards him, so he prayed at that place. It was someone from the Holy Land, so that if they saw him, they would save him. Bai Luo squatted there and said to him, "Are you a disciple of the Holy Land? What happened to you? Why are you so seriously injured?" Hearing the familiar voice, the disciple opened his eyes, took a look, and found that it was Bai Luo. He realized that this was his life-saving straw, so he grabbed Bai Luo and said to Bai Luo, I'm one of those people sent out. I have a message to tell the saint and the great elders. Those elders have sacrificed their lives. I'm the only one left. They tried their best to send me back. I have to tell all this to the saint. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 + BOOK_BAR published this novel. While the disciple was saying this, he grabbed Bai Luo fiercely. Bai Luo felt that he was about to die, so he immediately injected some power into his body. Bai Luo wanted to ask something, but the disciple was so weak that he fainted. After seeing him like this, Bai Luo immediately checked his whole body and found that his injuries were very serious. It must have taken him some time to get back here. So Bai Luo had to pick him up and hurried back to Aoyangzu and the others. Aoyangzu and the others didn't know why Bai Luo suddenly left here. When they saw Bai Luo coming back, they saw that he was holding a person in his arms. They were all a little surprised. Who is this, and where did he come from? Bai Luo didn't have time to explain to them at this time, so he could only tell them, Aoyangzu, go and notify the saint and other elders quickly, and tell them that one of the people who were sent out has returned, and the others have died. Ask them to come over quickly. This person is about to die, and I need to treat him immediately. Chapter 255 The Truth. At this time, Bai Luo had no time to explain anything. When Daoist saw the current situation of this person, he knew that he was very critically ill. If he could not be rescued, he would die from excessive blood loss. So Daoist hurriedly followed Bai Luo with Leng Yu and took the person to the Holy Land. At this time, the guards saw Bai Luo suddenly holding a bloody person and walking inside. They didn't know what happened, but they didn't dare to stop him. They could only watch quietly. When Aoyangzu went to the saint, she found that everything was so dangerous, but the guards opened the door for Bai Luo and others as soon as possible. Bai Luo took the person back to his room and let him lie flat on the bed. Bai Luo first re-examined the person and found that his injuries were very serious. Now he had to help him stop bleeding and then sew up his wounds to save his life. At this time, Bai Luo started to work in that place. Fortunately, he was quite familiar with these things, and it was relatively easy to rescue him. At this time, Bai Luo looked at Daoist and told him to inject some energy into this person while he was mending the wound. In this way, he could keep his vital signs stable and there was no need to worry about any mistakes in the middle. Daoist understood what Bai Luo meant, so he nodded and told Bai Luo, "Don't worry, you can save him here with peace of mind. I will provide you with the greatest support in the future." After hearing this, they all understood what it meant and didn't say anything more about these things. So far, they all understood that they had to save this person because his mouth seemed to contain the final truth, and whether they could clear the suspicion depended on this person's last words. But Bai Luo was still a little surprised in his heart. How powerful were those people? All the other elders actually died there. This was something Bai Luo had never expected. He had never thought that those people would have such fierce power. It seemed that those so-called shadows were really too powerful. So if they really wanted to fight against them, they had to think clearly. Otherwise, they were no match for them. This was what Bai Luo needed to consider the most. He could not make any other wrong judgments. Otherwise, if he made a wrong step, he would have no way to save himself. Now Bai Luo and his friends were able to stay in this place peacefully because they had understood all this. In addition, these things had slowly developed, and more people seemed to have aimed at the most important point of these things. Bai Luo became the most critical clue in this matter. When Aoyangzu went to the saint, he saw that those people were having a meeting inside and quickly asked the guard to inform them that one of the people sent out had returned and his condition was very critical. Bai Luo was saving him, hoping that they would go together to see if they could save that person's life as soon as possible. After the saint heard the report from the guard outside and what Aoyangzu told him, the saint and the rest of the elders' faces changed. They never thought that such a terrible thing would happen. Is it really like this? No wonder we can't contact them. Hurry up, take us there. After saying this, the saint immediately came out of the conference room, followed by the elders. They all followed Aoyangzu to Bai Luo's room. When the saint arrived there, they found that Bai Luo was rescuing someone there. At this time, Daoist and Leng Yu were not idle, but were helping Bai Luo. Seeing that they were in a critical period, the elders had to wait outside. However, they were very nervous because they could see that the person lying there was a disciple they sent out. If according to what Aoyangzu just said, except for him, everyone else had died, then these elders could not accept this blow. After all, it can be seen that some of those people have experienced life and death with them. Now they get such sad news. How can they not be sad? So they all wanted to know it at the first time, but they also knew that this person was in a bad state and could feel what those people had done to them. At this time, the elders didn't know what to say. They could only feel endless sorrow. They felt sad for their dead friends, and they really wanted to get rid of those people quickly. This time, they had investigated the truth, but those people had no way to come back safely, which was a major blow to them. The saint was thinking in her heart that if it was really like what Yangzu had just said, and the elders who were sent out had died heroically, then he would not let those fleeing people go easily, and he must kill them all to avenge them. The saint's heart was full of hatred, but they now knew that they could not be impulsive and had to wait until Bai Luo rescued that person. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. Bai Luo was under great pressure at this time. Although the man's injuries were not too serious, he had lost too much blood. Therefore, if he wanted to rescue him, he would need some time to recover. When he would wake up depended on his own recovery ability. What Bai Luo could do was to temporarily save him and prevent him from dying because of his current injuries. As for the following matters, he could only wait until he woke up. The elders who were watching outside could feel that Bai Luo was really using his energy to save this man and did not want to do anything bad. So they did not struggle at all, but waited quietly in that place. From this point, it can be seen that they have learned to be smart this time and would not easily say anything to Bai Luo. They knew that once they suspected someone for no reason, it might cause the bridge of trust between them to collapse. None of them dared to do such a thing again, so they could only wait quietly in that place, fearing that they would destroy what Bai Luo had done with great difficulty. Then, at that time, they would not be able to escape easily from this place. Having said that, it is precisely because they have understood this point that they can stay here so calmly. Chapter 256 Rescue. Anyway, these things are in front of them. Once more and more problems appear, it will be more troublesome for them to solve them. So at this time, they all know this very well, and dare not make any other wrong decisions. After about a few incense sticks of time, they saw Bai Luo's movement stopped, and the saint dared to breathe a sigh of relief. Seeing that Bai Luo was not as nervous as before, it meant that it should be fine now. They just need to wait for Bai Luo to come out and explain the situation to them, then everything will be over. So they continued to wait quietly outside. When Bai Luo turned around, he found that they were all here. He understood this series of things. Now he has rescued this disciple. He will not die, but he needs to rest in this place for a while. This disciple is now in a deep coma. It may take a few days to wake up. Bai Luo is particularly curious about what kind of attack can beat them like this. Logically speaking, the elders in the Holy Land were all very powerful. Bai Luo had fought with them before. Although they were not his opponents, they must have sent out a lot of people. They were able to kill all of them and only leave one alive, which shows that those people are really powerful. This is the most entangled thing for Bai Luo. He wants to hear what the truth of this disciple is. It seems that they finally figured out the truth of these things at the last moment, so there is no need to worry anymore. Bai Luo walked out, and Xiaotu and Lengai could rest for a while. Xiaotu didn't feel tired, but he was a little worried when he saw Bai Luo rescuing that person in that place, fearing that this person could not be rescued. When the time comes, people here will blame Bai Luo, saying that these problems are caused by him, and then it will not be so easy to solve. So after thinking about this, Xiaotu said to Lengai, how about you? Why don't you go and take a rest first? You have been exerting your strength here for half a day. In fact, Xiaotu alone is enough, but Lengai saw him transferring strength in that place, so he naturally wanted to help him, so he began to exert his strength in this place. In this way, the two of them supported each other and left this place. As long as they can experience more things in this place, it will be very easy for them. As long as they can finally solve these things, they don't have to worry about the final trouble. As more and more people are watching this place, they have understood that the most important point is that most people don't change anything because of their initiative. If they still struggle because of a little thing, it is simply a little bit of a lack of priority. Bai Luo now knows this, so he can stay here calmly. Don't worry, that man's life has been saved. When he just came back, we happened to be outside, so we ran into them. You can ask anything you want to ask. His injuries have stabilized now. But if he wants to wake up, it depends on his own recovery ability, so I can't give you a definite time, because the injuries he suffered are too serious, so he has become like this now. The saint now believes in Bai Luo very much. Since Bai Luo has said so, they can't say anything. The other elders seem very sad, so they can't help but ask Bai Luo, did he say that the other elders have died? That is to say, out of the dozens of people we sent out, only he came back? Bai Luo saw their sad expressions, and naturally he couldn't say these things in his heart, but he could only tell them the truth, so Bai Luo had to nod helplessly. He did say that, according to him, those people are very powerful. The elders desperately sent him out, in order to get him out, and tell us the news. The others lost their lives in this incident. After saying this, the whole scene suddenly became silent. Everyone was silent there. Even Bai Luo felt that they were too great. After all, they were investigating these things, which led to such a disaster. The elders didn't know what to say at this time, and they shed tears. Those companions who had been with them day and night lost their lives in this way. They didn't even see them for the last time. How could they not be sad? The saint was extremely sad at this time. Her face was already full of tears, and he joked and said, those people are our heroes. We must avenge them when the time comes. When this person wakes up, we will definitely know who those people belong to. When the time comes, we will find them and make them pay with their lives. When the saint said these words, her tone was very firm. At this time, the elders had mustered up their courage and nodded heavily at that place. Yes, saint, we will definitely avenge them. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. After saying this, they all left this place. Bai Luo saw the saint's appearance, so he patted his shoulder and said to her, you have to be strong. We can definitely find them all and avenge them. I will wake this disciple up as soon as possible. Don't be too sad. Although the saint didn't seem to have changed much on the surface, Bai Luo understood that he was a person who valued friendship and loyalty. Now that he heard that the elders here had something wrong, the saint must be the saddest among these people. So at this time, Bai Luo could especially understand his feelings, but as the leader of these people, the saint couldn't show too much collapse, because if she did, it would easily cause emotional fluctuations in others. So all the saint could do was to hold on there. Bai Luo felt even more distressed for him at this moment. The saint didn't know what to say at this moment. She could only nod and said to Bai Luo, don't worry, I can hold on. I just want to find those people back. I can't let them wander around outside or die without a complete body. I will definitely bring all their bodies back. You guys have worked so hard. Fortunately, you found that disciple. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 Bad News. If that disciple had not been rescued by you, he might have died now. Then, we would not be able to confirm these things at that time. After hearing what the saint said, Bai Luo said to him, go and have a rest. I will take you back. If you have any concerns, you can tell me, but I can tell you that I'm here to help you solve these problems. Bai Luo continued to comfort the saint. At this time, Leng Yu and Ao Hangzhou were around the saint. They had a good relationship. Now that they saw what happened, they felt sad for the saint. After all, the saint and these people had a very strong relationship. So after seeing what happened to them, they all understood that the saint needed support the most at this time. So Ao Hangzhou and Leng Yu were by his side. The two of them supported the saint, and then they sent the saint back to the room. Bai Luo asked Xiaotu to continue to watch the disciple at this place. If he had any situation, he should tell him as soon as possible. At this time, all their hopes were placed on these people. Those shadows returned there again and found that there were still a few people struggling, so they laughed. I didn't expect that you are not completely dead yet, so let me teach you a good lesson. After that, they actually made even worse punishments for those who were not completely dead yet, and all this would only be known after Bai Luo found them. But the elders who survived were also seriously injured, so they couldn't break free at all, and could only wait for all this to happen there. Bai Luo is now in the saint's room. At this time, Leng Yu and Ao Hangzhu are talking to him there, not letting the saint be too sad. Otherwise, once the saint is too sad, it may hurt his body. Bai Luo was most worried about the saint's mood. He didn't want him to be hit harder by these things. So at this time, Bai Luo was there and assured him, "Don't worry, I will definitely help you solve these things, Saint. You have helped us so much, and all this is actually related to us. We have caused such a big loss to the Holy Land, and we feel a certain guilt in our hearts. So no matter what, as long as we have clues and can find the murderers who cruelly hurt the elders, we will deal with them as soon as possible." When Bai Luo said this, his tone was very comfortable, and it could be felt that he was indeed telling them here that he would do these things. The saint believed in Bai Luo very much. He felt that these things had nothing to do with Bai Luo and the others. It was just because they were too strong that they were targeted. So next, they had to find the final murderer. The saint was a little tired of crying at this time. She wanted to rest here for a while. If they stayed here all the time, she would still feel a little embarrassed, so the saint could only say to Bai Luo and the others, "I know. Your support for me here is the greatest encouragement. I won't say anything about this matter. You all go back to rest. It's okay for me. For those who sacrificed, I will definitely live here strongly and won't do anything stupid." After hearing this, they could feel that what the saint said was serious, so they didn't have to worry about it anymore. At this time, Ao Hangzhu and Leng Yu left this place, but Bai Luo didn't leave. He stepped forward and continued to guarantee the responsibility with the saint. Bai Luo knew that the saint's mood was very unstable now. If she couldn't tell the saint to hope, she couldn't say what she would do. Next, they could sit down together in this place. The saint listened to Bai Luo's words, and her heart seemed to be warmed. It's useless to be sad and painful now. We must solve these problems. Those elders are my predecessors. They helped me a lot when I was just growing up. I didn't expect that they would have these things now. If I can't avenge them, then I will be ashamed of all my ancestors. Now Bai Luo is particularly clear about the burden that the saint bears, so he is so sad. Although the saint is a woman, she must take her own responsibilities when she was born in a place like the Holy Land. It is precisely because of this that Bai Luo can't say anything, so he quietly hugs the saint in that place and continues to comfort the saint, which allows the saint to stabilize. Xiaotu and the others are there, continuing to guard the disciple. The disciple now feels like he is in the sea. He slowly falls down, and he can hear the words that the elders said to him before they died. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus BOOK_BAR is the first to publish this novel. You must hold on, and you must pass this message back to the Holy Land. Only in this way can our sacrifice not be in vain. You must wake up and quickly tell these things to the saint. Only in this way can we avenge us. These voices kept repeating in his ears. The disciple felt as if he was being dragged up by something. He heard these voices and wanted to open his eyes as soon as possible to see what was going on around him. But he found that he seemed to be sinking more and more, and at this time his consciousness was a little clearer, and he felt that there seemed to be a force outside, supporting him to go up little by little. The impact of the two forces made the disciple suddenly sober up a little. He understood that he had a more serious task to do. He couldn't sleep. Once he fell asleep, all the efforts of those people would be in vain, so he tried desperately to open his eyes and swim upwards. Finally, he broke through the obstacles of those things to him. At this time, the disciple slowly opened his eyes, and Xiaotu was guarding on the side. Feeling the movement next to him, he looked back and didn't expect that the disciple had woken up so quickly, which surprised Xiaotu. Oh my god, you woke up so soon. Bai Luo hasn't come back yet. After saying this, Xiaotu immediately checked on the disciple. The disciple knew who the person in front of him was, so he said to him, Mr. Zio2, are the Great Elder and the Saintess here? I have something to tell them right away. Chapter 258 Awakening. After hearing this, Zio2 understood that he should be able to tell all the facts, so Zio2 said to him immediately, don't worry, I will call them over now, just hold on, you are fine now. After saying this, Zio2 turned around and went out. When he came to the door, he found that Bai Luo and our Hangzhou had returned. So Zio2 ran to Bai Luo excitedly and told him, come on, the disciple has woken up. He has to find the elder and the saint, and tell them what he said. I thought he would be unconscious for a few days, but he woke up so quickly. After hearing this, Bai Luo was very happy. He had just comforted the saint for a long time, and when he came back, he wanted to speed up the disciple's awakening. He didn't expect that the disciple woke up so quickly. It seems that his own healing ability is very strong, and he has been entrusted by the elders, so the voice in his heart is relatively loud, so that he can wake up quickly. So after thinking about this, Bai Luo said to them, then you watch him over there, and give him some energy. I will go find the Saintess and the Great Elders now, and ask them to come over quickly. After receiving such a happy news, Bai Luo now knew how to face the Saintess. Otherwise, he was really afraid that he could not help the Saintess. So after thinking about this, Bai Luo immediately went to the Saintess' room. The Saintess had just laid down there. He acted very firm, but he was actually still very fragile. However, with Bai Luo's encouragement, he had gotten much better. The Saintess wanted to take a rest, but she didn't expect to hear Bai Luo's voice again. Bai Luo was telling the Saintess there, quick, Saintess, the disciple has woken up. He can provide us with some information. We may be able to find those elders now. After hearing this, the Saintess sat up from the bed immediately. He happily went outside the door and found that Bai Luo was waiting for him there. So the saint girl quickened her pace, came to Bai Luo, and said to Bai Luo, really? Has that disciple really woken up? That's great. Once he wakes up, it means that this matter can finally be resolved. Let's hurry over now and notify the Great Elder and others. After saying this, the two of them went to where the elders lived. After finding them all, they left there and went to Bai Luo's room. Finally, everyone gathered here again. Seeing that the disciple had regained consciousness and looked so weak, the saint and the elders immediately stepped forward and said to him, you have worked so hard. I didn't expect you to be able to come back. What happened? You haven't had any contact with us for 2 days. Did those people do something to you? The disciple at this time saw the saint and the other elders and was suddenly filled with grief. He didn't know how to tell them that except for himself, everyone else had sacrificed their lives. The disciple then said with great guilt, I'm sorry, Saint. I'm sorry, Great Elder. I'm really a waste. I didn't bring the other elders back. They have all sacrificed their lives to send me out. We chased those who fled and found that they were not Zio2 and the others at all, but their copies. That is to say, they deliberately imitated Zio2 and the others. They are so heartless that they led us to a place, first seriously injured the elders, and then set a trap to catch us all. If it weren't for the elders who desperately sent me out, I wouldn't have said this. They did all this just to eliminate us all, so that you don't know who did these things, so you can always suspect Bai Luo and the others. But I want to tell you here that Bai Luo and the others have no problems, because they are simply victims, and they have never done those things. The disciple cried and shouted in that place. When he said this, everyone had already understood the truth. This time, Bai Luo and the others were finally cleared of suspicion. At this time, the saint girl put down the stone in her heart. It seemed that there was nothing wrong with her guess. Bai Luo and the others would not do such a thing. After hearing this, the Great Elder and the other elders had understood. It seemed that they had not stayed in this place and continued to target Bai Luo and the others. Otherwise, it was unimaginable how to apologize to them. At this time, the disciple wanted to say something, so Bai Luo injected some strength into him so that he could continue to speak. Otherwise, according to his current situation, he would probably suffer more damage due to excessive sadness. The elders told me that I must come back and find you to tell you that my mission has been completed, but they were all killed by those people. It's too painful. Saint, you must help them get revenge. At this time, the disciple held the saint's hand tightly and told him there. Seeing his weak appearance and tears in his eyes, the saint told him very firmly, "Don't worry, since I promised you something, there will be no problem. I will definitely save them and avenge them. I will bring them here and make those who hurt them pay the corresponding price." Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR is the first to publish this novel. After the saint girl said this, the disciple was relieved, and Bai Luo said to them, "Everyone, please leave first. This disciple still needs to rest. Although he can wake up now, it may be because of his inner support. Therefore, the entrustment of those people to him is very important to him, which can support him to wake up so quickly. Everyone, don't keep surrounding him. Give him a better recovery environment, otherwise he may have bigger problems later." After hearing this, the elders immediately retreated. No matter how unwilling they were to accept it, they could only accept the fact that the elders had passed away. However, the great elder bowed solemnly to Bai Luo in front of him and continued to say to Bai Luo, "I'm really sorry. We misunderstood you. I apologize to you here." Chapter 259, Alliance. Bai Luo did not expect that the elder would act so quickly. He quickly helped him up and said to the elder, "Senior, didn't we say that the other day? We all had our own difficulties at the beginning, so I will not be angry about this matter." The elders were also here to apologize to Bai Luo and the others. Zairotu and the others understood that the real reason for these things could not be blamed on them, so Zairotu and our Hangzhou shook their heads. "Everyone, don't be so polite. We still have to think of a way to find those people. You did nothing wrong. All this happened because of them." Seeing their understanding, the elders were even more ashamed. Seeing their appearance, they had no intention of punishing them at all. Instead, they had been targeting them in that place. Fortunately, they did not wrongly accuse the good people. Then there was no need to worry about it next. At this time, they all came out of this place, leaving only the disciple to cultivate in peace in that place. If the disciple wants to recover his original spirit, he will probably have to rest for a long time. After all, his heart is full of pain, so it should not be so easy to recover. Next, it depends on his own self-healing ability. At this time, they went to the other side to discuss how to find the whereabouts of the elders. What they are most puzzled about now is how those people did it, because they have never thought that there is such a way in the world that can deceive them. This made the elders puzzled, and Bai Luo and the others were also very puzzled. After they sat down in the meeting room, Bai Luo and Zairotu began to talk. "It's really strange. Who is pretending to be us? Why do they do this? After pretending to be us, they did some bad things in this place, and now they have hurt all the elders. It seems that their goal is to destroy our reputation." After Zairotu said this, he felt very angry. He still didn't expect that someone would do such a bad thing under his number one. When the elders said it, he knew that he would never do these things. Now think about it, if they are disguised as me, then it is no wonder that they are suspicious. So Zairotu must find them quickly and must not let his reputation be damaged. Bai Luo also thought so. He was afraid that those disguised people would use Zairotu's faces to hurt more people, and then they would have to clean up more messes. So at this time they began to discuss here. The saint thought about it at that time, and now they all started to communicate here, and the elder told them his views, because the elder had been thinking about it since he went out with Bai Luo that day, and he had been thinking about it since he came back. No matter how you analyze it, they should be people from the demon realm. I think only they would do these things against us, so the people who imitated you should be people from the demon realm. It's not that easy for us to find them. But now that they haven't been caught yet, it means they are still roaming outside. It seems that we have to notify each area and let them pay attention to the dike. Only in this way can we avoid more harm. The elder was right about this. They had to take precautions in advance. Otherwise, those who disguised themselves as Zairotu and others would go to other places. Those people would definitely accept them and treat them well when they saw their familiar faces. then these people would most likely continue to attack them, like they did in the Holy Land. So no matter what, people in other areas could not be harmed in the same way. The elder planned to wait until they finished talking, and then use the surveillance video to notify each area. In this way, they could be kept safe. At this time, Bai Luo and the others continued to talk in that place. No matter what, we must find their specific location. We may have to wait for this disciple to rest for a while before asking them in detail. Since he escaped from that place, he must have some impression of that route, so we should be fine if we give it to him. After the saint said this, they all understood the current situation. Seeing that their faces were not good, the saint knew that they were all very sad, so she said to them, "Let's talk about this first. Since everyone has understood that these things have nothing to do with Bai Luo, we can become a team again and continue to crack these things because of those people who are making trouble outside. It will cause great harm to both you and us, so we can unite together and catch them back. Everyone go back and rest first, and we will continue to talk about it in the evening." After hearing this, they all nodded and left from this place. The elders were not in a good mood at this time, and even their backs were a little sad. They couldn't accept this fact for a while, so they could only go back and calm down. Bai Luo and Xiaotu were a little angry. Those people could use such a method to disguise them, but Bai Luo didn't notice anything. He felt that something was wrong, so at this time, Bai Luo had to think about how to deal with it. Otherwise, he would always be manipulated by others like this. Once he felt this way, Bai Luo felt really uncomfortable. Xiaotu couldn't help but say to Bai Luo, "Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. We must help the saint and find them, and then let me punish them severely. They dare to do bad things in front of me. If it is really done by the people of the demon realm, then we must catch them all at once, and we can't leave any hidden dangers, otherwise we will have no way to settle all this." After saying this, we can feel their determination for these things, otherwise, they will not say such words. Leng Yu agreed with Xiaotu's approach. They had to solve them all at once, to avoid the next crisis. Gao Yangzu saw Bai Luo thinking there, so he didn't say anything. He believed in Bai Luo, and that Bai Luo would definitely be able to give the best solution, so there was no need for them to worry about it. Because following Bai Luo meant that these things would be easy to deal with, and other people didn't have to worry about anything. Everyone, go back and rest first. Let's relax first, and then think about it. Otherwise, if there are too many things, we won't be able to figure it out. Chapter 260 Awkward. So they all went down to rest, because they had to think carefully about how to solve this problem, so they did not observe these things. Bai Luo had forgotten that he had sent Yang Chen to destroy the surveillance room they had originally repaired, and thought that everything was fine, and now he could finally relax. Since those people have already understood that we are not the ultimate murderer, then after they have settled these things, we can finally get rid of suspicion and finally not be slandered. Bai Luo was in a very good mood at this time, because he felt that the doubts he had been subjected to for so long could finally be vindicated. Xiaotu and Yangzu were sitting in this place. Because of Bai Luo, they could understand the impact of what was happening now on them. Seeing Bai Luo relieved, Xiaotu and the others no longer cared about this matter, especially since they could understand the feelings of those elders. Xiaotu and the others did not say anything. Bai Luo was very relieved to see them all like this. They might have been a little bad at the beginning, but now it seems that they are not ashamed of the things that happened before. There have been changes long ago, so when Bai Luo saw them like this, he couldn't help but sigh and say, "If it was in the past, I would never believe that you would listen to me so much and stop saying anything." Bai Luo said these words in a joking tone, and the others didn't care too much, because in their opinion, Bai Luo's words were very powerful, so they didn't say anything, just because of Bai Luo's one or two words, but thought he was right. If they can think about these things, then there won't be any problems because of these things. Otherwise, it's unknown what kind of changes will happen. Let's take a break next, and then discuss with them to see how to stop those people from continuing to destroy other areas. We must make some efforts. After all, they are in your face, so if a bigger crisis occurs, it will not be a good thing for us. Zioto and our Angzu nodded, and they all understood the reason why Bai Luo said these words, so they didn't ask for anything else. Then we will go down and rest first. Bai Luo, you should have a good rest. You have worked hard during this period of time. After hearing this, Bai Luo nodded. It was because they were familiar with each other's difficulties that they were able to stay in this place. It was because of this idea that they could become a team, so Zioto went back with Leng Gaiu. Gao Yangzu looked at Bai Luo and left here. Bai Luo naturally fell on the bed and had a good rest. The matter that had been worrying him was finally solved. The next step was to deal with those people who disguised themselves as them. Even if Bai Luo didn't want to join this trouble at first, now that he knew that his companions were being slandered and it would affect him, Bai Luo had to take action. In addition, with the relationship with the saint, Bai Luo was willing to help them solve these problems. Bai Luo lay down and fell asleep because he was too tired. The elders rested faster, and it could be felt that they had been doing this for some time. They were also under certain pressure, so they became like this. Otherwise, according to their previous personalities, they would not be so obedient. The saint was alone in that place, continuing to think about what method to use next to catch those people, especially after learning that they were fake Bai Luo and his group. The saint could not let them get away with it. They killed so many elders. As a saint, if she could not solve these things, then the people in the Holy Land would definitely be angry. So the saint knew this very well. She made a decision very quickly at this time and could not have any reaction. Otherwise, if any problems occurred in the middle, it would not be so easy for them to solve. Especially now these things. It has developed so fast. Only by controlling it quickly can other things be avoided. Otherwise, it will be a great impact on them. So now Bai Luo is standing on her side because he has realized this. With this idea, the saint does not have to worry about anything anymore. She knows that Bai Luo, as a friend, will definitely not stand idly by. So the saint can relax a little. After hearing the news, the residents in the Holy Land no longer hated Bai Luo and his group. Instead, they began to reflect that they might have been fooled by those people at the beginning. So some people felt guilty. The most obvious one was the Great Elder. He had been thinking about whether he could provide some real help to Bai Luo and his group. Only in this way could he express his sincerity. However, he had not given him a chance, otherwise the Great Elder would definitely show his sincerity. In fact, Bai Luo did not care about this matter anymore. Instead, the Great Elder and his group thought that Bai Luo and his group might still feel a little uncomfortable because they really thought badly of them. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Bai Luo and his group rested in that place for an afternoon. They woke up one after another in the evening, and then made an appointment to have dinner in the restaurant. When they walked out of the house, they found that the guard's attitude towards them had become a little more respectful than before. Maybe they could not determine at the beginning whether these things were done by them, so they did not dare to treat them well. Now that they have finally cleared their suspicion, the guards can treat Bai Luo and his friends the same way as before. Bai Luo did not say anything about this situation, but continued to work hard in that place, thanking them for taking care of him. After all, Bai Luo has seen their efforts for so long, and of course he will not find fault with them because of this. So they all walked out of that place and went to the restaurant. Bai Luo and our Angzu talked and laughed, and they had a very good relationship. The elders gathered here, and they knew that there would be a meeting waiting for them later. Bai Luo has now become the backbone of this team. He and the saint have become the two most important figures. The others basically revolve around them and listen to these things. Chapter 261 Discussion. The disciple who had just been rescued would also provide them with some help, so everyone was full of energy in order to solve this problem quickly. In this way, the conflicts between them could be truly resolved. You are finally here. Sit down and rest here first. Dinner will be served soon. The saint arrived here earlier than them and was already sitting in her seat, waiting for Bai Luo and the others. Seeing that he came so early, Bai Luo said a few words to him before sitting in his seat. At this time, everyone behaved very well. They did not get angry because of one or two words. Instead, they could feel the politeness between each other. At this time, everyone laughed and did not say anything more. The familiarity between them was a little stronger than before. Those people brought up dinner one after another. The great elder still sat next to the saint, facing Bai Luo. Every time he saw Bai Luo, the great elder would nod to him to express his good impression. Bai Luo was used to this, so he would not say anything because of these things, so they ate here peacefully. Everyone's rules were very good. No one spoke, because they all knew that this moment was for them to rest in this place, and they could not destroy the tranquility of today, so the saint could relax and enjoy today's dinner in this place. When they had almost finished eating, the saint took the lead in asking someone to open the door of the conference room. They must finish these things later. The injured disciple was taken care of by many guards, and those people would help him do something every day. Moreover, Bai Luo and Xiao Tu did not finish his treatment. They would input some power to him at a fixed time every day, so that he could recover quickly and have more useful help. Only by uniting together could they solve this matter more quickly, so they had such a tacit understanding between each other. Seeing that they had finished eating and were still waiting for her, the saint said to them, "Since everyone has finished eating, let's go sit down in the conference room first. We will discuss how to notify various areas to prevent those who imitated Xiao Tu and others from attacking them. We must notify all areas related to our holy land as soon as possible. In this way, they can avoid disasters, and it is not certain which area will catch them first. In this way, it will save us a lot of trouble." After they thought about this, they all understood the importance of these things, so everyone understood what they had to do, nodded, and left from this place, and went to the conference room. Only Bai Luo and the saint were left in this place, and our Hangzhou originally planned to stay in this place, but was dragged away by Xiao Tu and Leng Gaiyu. Not knowing what they were going to do, Gao Hangzhou had to tell Bai Luo that she would go to that place and wait for them first. At this time, Bai Luo nodded and didn't say anything more. After they all left, the saint looked at Bai Luo. "If you have anything to say to me, I can be alone here. It will be over soon. You go first." The saint girl acted very calmly at this time, but Bai Luo always felt that she seemed to have something on her mind. So Bai Luo said at that place, "Don't have too much pressure. I will definitely help you solve these things. So you have to believe that we can definitely catch them. I know that if you can't solve those people, your status may be affected. But don't worry, we are united and everything can be settled." After hearing this, the saint felt very moved. She thought she had behaved calmly enough, but Bai Luo could still see through it at a glance. Bai Luo really touched the heart of the saint, because the saint was just a girl after all. It was normal for her to be a little nervous about these serious things and to have some insecurity. The encouragement Bai Luo gave to the saint was exactly what she needed most now. The two of them were friends, and Bai Luo felt it was normal for them to help each other. If others wanted to think too much, Bai Luo could do nothing about it. The saint was naturally grateful and smiled at Bai Luo at that place. "Sure enough, nothing can be hidden from your eyes. I'm trying my best to overcome it. I know that I must grow faster. Only in this way can I not hold back here. Otherwise, I will definitely become a sinner." Bai Luo walked forward, rubbed the saint's shoulders and told her, "Everyone makes mistakes, but the problem is that we have to grow up faster after making mistakes. We have not accepted the challenges yet, and we cannot be pessimistic and think that the ending must be bad. We must maintain the best for any result. In this way, we can overcome all difficulties." Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR is the first to release this novel. Bai Luo did not say anything more. He knew that the more he said, the more it might affect the saint. So when Bai Luo saw that the saint had listened to his words, he said to him, "If you are done now, then let's go over together. If you still want to sit here and digest it for a while, I think everyone can wait for you there. I can go over first." After the saint hesitated for a while, she stood up and walked to the conference room with Bai Luo. When the two of them arrived there, those people had already been waiting quietly there. They were used to these things, so they didn't say anything because of these things. Those elders were very supportive of the saint, which was able to dispel the saint's uneasiness faster. Now the saint could talk to them calmly, and they could now discuss in detail how to let other areas know all the news. So the saint sat in her seat, looked at those people, and said to them, "Dear elders, dear friends, what we are going to talk about today is how to contact other areas and let them pay attention to the appearance of those who imitated Zio2 as soon as possible. Our holy land has a special surveillance stone, so now we will use the surveillance stone to contact other areas and let them know the news in advance. Elders, please play your role." Chapter 262 Contact. After hearing this, everyone was on high alert. As the most important people to carry out this mission, the elders understood what the saint meant, so they immediately stood up and began to stand beside the table. In the middle of the table was the distribution map of their various regions, and they could mobilize the monitoring stones of various regions here. In this way, they could use the monitoring stones of various regions to inform each region of what they wanted to know. So in order, each elder showed his strength. Soon, the pattern on the table was lit up. The lighting of a pattern meant that a region had received the news, and according to reason, they should be able to light up all the patterns. But when they came to the elder, they found that, no matter how much power was input, the pattern of the last region could not be lit up, which immediately made the elder suspicious. What's going on? Why is it like this? So he immediately began to check. At this time, the elder found that this was the area that Bai Luo was originally responsible for repairing, and now there was no news, which meant that the monitoring stone of this area was damaged again. The elder was very confused. What's going on? Wasn't it repaired last time? Why can't the message be transmitted suddenly? Other areas have received the news, leaving only the place that Bai Luo originally repaired, so the great elder had to tell this matter. When Bai Luo heard this, he remembered our Yangchen who was sent out, and suddenly felt a little embarrassed. He didn't expect our Yangchen to act so quickly and destroy the monitoring stone. He should reveal the news and tell our Yangchen not to continue. After all, they have resolved the contradiction now, and they should not be hostile like before. Now, after destroying the monitoring stone of that place, there are obviously more problems. So Bai Luo didn't know what to say at this time. He didn't expect that he actually forgot it. It was extremely embarrassing at this time. At this time, the saint noticed something unusual, so he came to the position of the great elder and took a look. Sure enough, he found that the pattern in this area could not light up, no matter how much power they injected, which meant that the monitoring stone in this place was broken. At this time, everyone's eyes were on Bai Luo. The elder seemed to suddenly remember something and said to Bai Luo, "By the way, you are all here. Why didn't you see our Yangchen? Wasn't he with you for a while? Why are there only a few of you now?" After hearing this, Bai Luo didn't know what to say. He didn't expect that the elder would actually ask about our Yangchen's whereabouts. Bai Luo was speechless and didn't know how to tell them these things. Because if he let it slip, the friendship they had just connected might be destroyed. After all, for these elders, they didn't do anything to let Bai Luo and his friends down. But Bai Luo and his friends went behind their backs and damaged the surveillance stone. It can be felt that Bai Luo and his friends are really annoying, so Bai Luo stood there and began to think about his own words. The saint girl now understood why it became like this. He glanced at Bai Luo's embarrassed expression and immediately understood that they must have done something, otherwise it wouldn't be like this. So the saint was there at this time, and she spoke to the great elder. "As far as I know, great elder, Dao Yangchen has other things to do, so he hasn't come yet. He probably has some tasks that he hasn't completed, so he didn't come here with Bai Luo and the others, so don't worry too much." Bai Luo was shocked by the saint's words. He didn't expect that the saint would actually speak for him. Since the saint said this, it meant that she already knew what they had done. Bai Luo felt even more ashamed, so he had to echo her voice there. With the saint's cover, the great elder no longer had any doubts, but was a little puzzled as to why the monitoring room could not connect to the message. He said helplessly, "Saint, now we only have one area left. There must be something wrong with this monitoring stone. We have to study it carefully. If it doesn't work, we may have to send someone to that area to notify them in advance, so we can only go to this place today." The other elders did not expect such a problem to occur. They originally thought that this matter should not be so complicated, and they had already made preparations to report it after notifying each area if there was any danger. As a result, they did not expect such a problem to occur, so the faces of those elders could not help but be a little angry, and the saint knew that no matter whether Bai Luo did it or not, they should not jump out at this time, otherwise it would affect the mood of these elders. So the saint said to them, "Everyone has done a good job. Let's go back and rest tonight, and then we will think of a way. If we still can't contact that area when we try tomorrow morning, we will send people there. In this way, we should be able to settle all the troubles." After the saint said this, they couldn't continue to struggle, so they all left this place, but the elders were still a little confused. Why did these things turn out like this? They didn't think of Bai Luo, and they didn't think it was Bai Luo and his friends who did it. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Only Bai Luo and his friends felt a little guilty. Not only Bai Luo realized this, but Xiaotu and Daoist also remembered what Bai Luo had told Daoist to do. They didn't know what to say, so they had to stay there quietly and didn't get involved in anything they did. "You go back first, Great Elder. If it doesn't work tomorrow, we will send someone to solve it. Their current speed should not be able to reach that place. After all, it is the farthest from here, so it should be safe for the time being." After hearing this, the Great Elder's expression changed a little. Otherwise, it is unknown whether he would suspect anything because of this. After they all left, Bai Luo and the others didn't know how to tell the saint, so they planned to leave this place. The saint did not expose them, but just said to them, "There is nothing for you to do tonight. I'm really sorry to let you accompany me here. You should go to bed early." Chapter 263 Awkward. After saying this, the saint got up and went back first. Only Bai Luo and the others were left looking at each other in bewilderment. Gao Yangchen was too quick. He actually destroyed that thing. It's all my fault. I should have told him in advance that we don't need to destroy their things now. Now, I'm afraid we have to go to that place to repair it. When Bai Luo said this, Xiaotu was a little helpless. It's all our problem, because we have forgotten about it. It was an oversight on our part. Let's see how to solve it tomorrow morning. If it doesn't work, we can go together. After Xiaotu said this, Bai Luo was not as anxious as before. Since it was their fault, as long as they made up for it quickly, they shouldn't be punished too much. Bai Luo was mainly a little ashamed of them. At this time, he and the elders were even. He didn't need to be angry with them for what they did. After all, wasn't he the same? They were all the same stuff. Why bother to pick on them? Bai Luo felt that he was a little ridiculous. Gao Yangzu was a little worried about Bai Luo's current mood, so she said to Bai Luo, "Should we tell the saint? The saint just spoke for us. I think she must have noticed something, otherwise she wouldn't have said it like that." After hearing this, Bai Luo had no choice but to nod his head. He also felt that the saint had really helped them a lot. Otherwise, if they told the elders that they were the ones who destroyed the surveillance stone, the elders would definitely hate them again. And those elders who had been harboring evil intentions for a long time didn't know what they would accuse Bai Luo and his friends of. So Bai Luo felt that he had to tell the saint about this matter, otherwise he would feel very guilty. It was still early, and he could explain the situation to the saint, otherwise he would be condemned in his heart. Bai Luo felt that it would be better for him to talk about these things alone, so there was no need to bring a group of people with him. So he asked Yangzu and Xiaotu to go back and rest first. Leng Yu saw their embarrassed expressions and seemed to understand what they meant. So when going back with Xiaotu, Leng Yu was at that place and said with some doubt, "Did something happen? Why do Bai Luo and you have such bad expressions? Could it be related to the broken stone?" It seems that Leng Yu was smart enough and found the problem at once. Xiaotu had to nod and said to him, "We didn't expect that we actually forgot about this. when we learned that the elders terminated the contract, Bai Luo and we were quite angry, so we asked our Yang Chen to destroy the surveillance stone that we were responsible for repairing. Unexpectedly, after we restored the relationship with this place, we didn't tell our Yang Chen, and our Yang Chen still destroyed the surveillance stone according to the original plan. So this is why we couldn't pass the message here just now. Now it's good. I think I should do my part. After hearing this, Lengai, who already understood these things, she couldn't give them a better way, so she could only nod, and said to Xiao too, it seems that Bai Luo still needs to explain these things to the saint himself. All we can do is give them some compensation. So Xiao too and Lengai left this place. What they said was indeed right, because now they had to leave this place first. If they stayed in this place all the time, and couldn't think of any good way, it might really hinder Bai Luo's plan. So that to return to their rooms, and our Yangzu had been wandering in that place. He could obviously feel the entanglement in Bai Luo's heart at this time, but since Bai Luo said that he would tell all this to the saint, then our Yangzu believed that Bai Luo could solve these things. So our Yangzu began to rest in that place, hoping that when Bai Luo found the saint and said these words, the saint would give him some understanding. However, in his heart, Yao Yangzu still felt a little guilty about the saint. After all, the saint was really good to them. They did such a thing on impulse, which did cause some confusion. But Bai Luo said that he would settle everything and come back, so Yao Yangzu didn't have to worry too much, and didn't think about it anymore. Bai Luo had already arrived at the saint's door. He saw that the lights were on inside, so he knew that the saint must not be asleep now. If he went in now and confessed everything to the saint, there shouldn't be any big problems. After all, the saint treated them sincerely, and Bai Luo didn't want to deceive the saint, so he showed up in this place. After hesitating for a while, Bai Luo stretched out his hand and knocked on the door. The saint heard the sound outside and knew that it must be Bai Luo who came. After all, according to Bai Luo's character, there were some things he would not endure until tomorrow morning, so the saint said softly at this time, "Please come in." At this time, Bai Luo pushed open the door, stood at the door, looked at the saint, and looked hesitant. The saint laughed. She had changed into pajamas, stood there looking at Bai Luo, and said to Bai Luo, "Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR is the first to publish this novel. It's quite cold outside. Come in and sit down. If you have anything to say, just say it directly. We are all friends. There is no need to be too humble." After the saint said this, Bai Luo slowly walked in and sat on the sofa. At this time, the saint sat down opposite him, handed Bai Luo a pot of tea, looked at Bai Luo, and said to Bai Luo, "It's so late. What do you want to see me for? If it's nothing important, go back and rest first. You have been tired during this period of time. Have a good rest. Then we can solve all this." Hearing the saint say this at this time, Bai Luo felt even more ashamed. He spoke directly and confessed the specific situation to the saint. "Saint, I'm so sorry. I want to tell you something. I know why the surveillance stone that you thought you couldn't contact was broken. We did it. You also found out that our Yang Chen is not here. When we received the news that the elders had cancelled the agreement with us, I was very angry and thought they were not trustworthy. So there was no need to help you anymore. So I asked our Yang Chen to go to the surveillance stone that we repaired and destroy it again. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264 Confession. Now that this has happened, it means that our Yang Chen has succeeded. I really forgot to tell him about this. Otherwise, these things would not have happened. You just helped me out. I'm really grateful, but this is all my fault. I hope you can forgive me. I'm really sorry. After Bai Luo said this, he bowed to the saint at that place. It can be seen that he really felt very ashamed. Bai Luo then said to the saint, "I can help you fix that place. After all, these things are done by me. I must solve all of this." After hearing this, the saint at this time was a little helpless. He didn't expect Bai Luo to be so impulsive and do such a thing. However, the saint did not blame Bai Luo for this. He could understand Bai Luo's feelings. The saint then said to Bai Luo, "Okay, no need to apologize. I understand. Since you can have a way to repair it, then we can repair it again. I know you didn't do it on purpose, so there is no need to apologize." After the saint said these words, Bai Luo continued to look at him at that place. The saint continued to talk to Bai Luo. "Just like what you advised me, we all make mistakes, but as long as we can correct them, it's fine. So tomorrow morning, we'll try again. If it doesn't work, we have to send someone there." At this time, Bai Luo decided to help them figure out the matter. He said to the saint, "Since it was my fault, I should go and clean it up. So tomorrow morning, if it doesn't work, I'll go there and fix the surveillance stone again. In this way, everyone won't have to worry about anything." Unexpectedly, Bai Luo would take the initiative to volunteer. At this time, the saint wanted to send a few elders, which might be a waste of time. Unexpectedly, Bai Luo was willing to do it, which would save a lot of time, so the saint agreed to this. "Bai Luo, if you are willing to help, that's great. As long as we work together, we can definitely solve this problem. Well, now that you have spoken your mind, go and rest. After all, if you really decide to go out tomorrow, you may have to travel a long way, so you need to replenish your energy." After hearing what the saint said, Bai Luo finally relaxed a little bit, left that place, and returned to his room. The saint knew that all this was related to Bai Luo, so after hearing what Bai Luo said, the saint's doubts were all solved. Next, just stay in this place. It seems that you can only put your hope on tomorrow morning, but you don't know if there will be any other problems in the end. When Bai Luo returned to his room, he could feel that the saint did not take this matter to heart. What he said was from the heart, not deliberately pretending to be generous. So Bai Luo didn't have to worry about anything. He didn't expect that he would end up getting himself into this matter. It had nothing to do with him. Since Bai Luo made such a decision, everything was normal and no one could change anything. After all, they really understood these things now. Otherwise, they didn't know what kind of problems would happen because of these things. Since Bai Luo had understood these problems, he didn't make strict demands for anything. In particular, Bai Luo could feel that the saint's solution to these things was in line with his original idea, so Bai Luo began to rest there. The other elders didn't think too much, and the whole Holy Land was very quiet at night. On the other side, Bao Chen thought that his mission had been solved and was rushing to the Holy Land. Anyway, he had changed everything that Bai Luo had told him. When he came back here, he shouldn't have to worry about Bai Luo getting angry about this matter again. The reason why Bao Chen solved it so quickly was that he wanted to meet up with Bai Luo and the others. After all, they still had to question the elders of the Holy Land together. Especially now, Bao Chen, who didn't know how Bai Luo and the others were doing, was a little worried about their safety, so he was so anxious to complete these tasks. Unexpectedly, he made some mistakes. But it was not Bao Chen's fault. After all, no one gave him any notice, so Bao Chen did nothing wrong. "Bai Luo, just wait for me, I will speed up and wait." Bao Chen had already set off for a while, so he was quite close to the Holy Land. It would take about another day to get there. But Bao Chen didn't know that after he arrived at that place, Bai Luo and the others would come to this place again, so they would definitely meet because of these things. But once they met, the lies that Bai Luo and the others had fabricated would not be able to cover up. At this time, no one knew what the final direction of this matter was, and Bao Chen was still rushing on the road here. Bai Luo didn't contact him well, otherwise he would definitely stop him at the first time and let him wait outside for a while. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. Otherwise, if they bump into them, the elders will doubt them again, and the saint who helped him clarify all this will also be involved, which is what Bai Luo doesn't want to see the most. After all, the saint is helping them. If he is punished by those people because of these things, then he really feels sorry for the saint's kindness. Bai Luo was still resting there at this time, and our Yang Chen was about to arrive at the Holy Land. The people in the Holy Land finally slept peacefully, and no one came to disturb them. They couldn't sleep well in the past few days, and always felt that those shadows were still bullying them in this place. But since they were sure that Bai Luo and the others had no doubts, they could sleep peacefully every night, and they didn't even have to worry about what would be affected. This shows that their sense of security has improved a lot. Especially after Bai Luo and the others were here. With their strength, it was still easy to help them solve these things. So most people didn't care about anything because of this. They just knew the benefits to themselves, and then they would think about what to do. The saint who learned all this was more relaxed than before, so she told those humans that they could rest assured in this place. Chapter 265 Pressure. What happened will never happen again. They will continue to protect them in this place. The saint's persuasiveness is still very strong. Those people think that the saint does have this ability. She is a saint at a young age. Her strength should not be underestimated. If they still question her, then they are really confused. That's why the residents can sleep so peacefully in this place now. When the morning comes, they will naturally solve these problems. Bai Luo wanted to tell Zairotu and the others about these things last night, but when he went to that place, he forgot that they were already asleep. When Bai Luo went there, he found that they were all in a deep sleep. Bai Luo felt that he could only wait until tomorrow morning, when the incident happened, before telling them these things, because he would definitely discuss with the elders when to go there. They all got up slowly. The saint knew that now was the time to make the final decision. After washing up, the saint changed into her usual clothes and came out from her room. Those people were still waiting for the instructions of the saint. They were used to the saint's arrangement for them, so the elders were waiting there. When they saw the saint had arrived, they bowed to her. Bai Luo and his men had also arrived. Everyone was preparing for what was going to happen. The saint looked at the great elder and said to him, "Since everyone is here, please try again to see if you can get in touch with the last area. If not, we have to think of other ways." After hearing this, the great elder immediately took action. He injected the power in his hand into the pattern again, but the miracle they thought of did not happen. Bai Luo was actually very clear about the result. After all, he asked Yang Chen to destroy that place. How could it be intact and like the original one? After seeing this place, the saint had already known the result, so she said to them, "Since it is already very obvious, we can only send someone to repair the surveillance stone. So now I want to ask, who is willing to solve this problem?" At this time, Bai Luo took the initiative to stand up, and Zairotu and the others seemed to have expected it, and did not say anything, just looking at Bai Luo there. "Saint, how about this? I will go there and fix that thing. After all, I have experience, so I should have no problem." The other elders did not expect that Bai Luo would be so proactive, and they had a better impression of Bai Luo, and at this time the other elders were thinking about whether to join these things. Just when they were hesitant, the great elder stood up to show his sincerity and said to the saint, "I'm willing to go there with Bai Luo in person. In this way, the two of us can solve these problems." Bai Luo looked at the elder in front of him in shock. He didn't know what the great elder was going to do, but the great elder knew that he did this to express himself and really wanted to be good to Bai Luo, so he was willing to go there in person. Originally, these things should not be allowed to be done by the great elder in this position, but the saint saw that his attitude was so firm and knew that if he was not allowed to go, the great elder might not be very happy, so the saint nodded at this time. "Well, since you, the great elder, have asked so much, then of course I have no reason to refuse. So this time, I will trouble you and Bai Luo to go together. I hope you two will prepare and set off on a certain day." After hearing this, all the elders bowed in that place and accepted the order. Bai Luo and the others understood a little, so this meeting was temporarily over. The next step was to see when they would set out. The saint and Bai Luo both thought that it would be better to solve these problems as soon as possible, so they set the departure date for tomorrow. As for who else would go, Bai Luo has not decided yet, because he doesn't know whether Rao Hangzhou and Leng Yu can leave here easily. After all, Len Yu's body sometimes has some problems, so Xiao Tu doesn't want him to go too far. Gao Yangzu's body will also have some problems. Bai Luo is considering these things, so he has not yet completely decided. However, the Great Elder and himself will definitely go. Bai Luo knows this. If the Great Elder finds out about these things at that time, Bai Luo still has to think of an explanation. Otherwise, the Great Elder will definitely think that they have no intention of changing their minds. At this time, Bai Luo is sitting in his room, talking to Xiao Tu and the others. Why don't I go with you? Anyway, if the two of us are there, even if the Great Elder finds out about these things, I'm afraid he should be able to understand our difficulties. If he really can't understand, I can help you deal with him. But Bai Luo shook his head. Forget it, you should stay with Len Yu. I haven't decided on their affairs yet. I haven't decided whether Len Yu and our Yangzu should go this time, so you don't have to worry for now. Believe in my strength, it's still easy to solve it. None of them thought that Yang Chen was about to come back. No matter how much Bai Luo wanted to hide, he couldn't hide it anymore. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Because Yang Chen has now arrived at the vicinity of the Holy Land, it will only take a few hours to get here. When he meets Bai Luo and the others, all this will change. At this time, Bai Luo was still there, talking to Xiao Tu and the others. I'll go and ask Yangzu again. You and Len Yu are waiting for the news here. If my final decision is not to take you two with me, I hope you two can understand that all the decisions I make must be beneficial to each of us. Otherwise, I would not choose that way. When Bai Luo said these words, Gao Yangzu and Len Yu both nodded. They both knew what kind of person Bai Luo was. He certainly would not refuse something they did because of a small matter. Bai Luo must be considering the overall situation. So at this time, both of them laughed. Don't worry, we have known you for so long. Of course we know what kind of person you are. So Bai Luo, just go ahead and do it. Liu Heo and I will believe in you. Gao Yangzu smiled at this time and encouraged Bai Luo. Chapter 266, Indecision. Bai Luo could feel his support for him, so he went forward to hug him and said to Yangzu, I'm really afraid of what will happen to you and Len Yu this time. After all, you knew enough about the dangers when we repaired those things last time. So Bai Luo was still a little worried when he returned to the original place again. Gao Yang was able to destroy that thing so easily, which surprised Bai Luo. Bai Luo planned to contact Yang Chen when he was about to arrive at that place so that he could know Yang Chen's current situation. However, Bai Luo did not contact Yang Chen now, missed the time when Yang Chen came back and did not let him avoid this place at all, so these things were bound to happen. Before Bai Luo knew what was going on, Yang Chen had already come outside. The Great Elder was very satisfied. He could finally go there with Bai Luo. In this way, his guilt would be dispelled. The other elders found the Great Elder and said to him, are you really going? If you go, it will be too grand. Why don't we let the others go? You should stay here with the saint. I do this not only to repair that thing, but more importantly, to let Bai Luo see our sincerity. After all, we went too far, so we naturally have to do these things. And those elders understood that the Great Elder's decision would not be wrong every time. Since they had no way to present other favorable evidence, they could only accept it here. So they all nodded. Yes, Great Elder, we understand. We will not force anything because of this. So they all said their current thoughts here, so they only needed to wait here, and then all these things could be solved. So the Great Elder said to them, don't worry, I will go with Bai Luo this time. With him, there will be no problem. After all, you have seen how strong he is. So I can learn something by going with him. So the doubts of the elders were put away. The Great Elder wanted to discuss with Bai Luo what they should bring. Although they should not stay too long in that place, they must stay for a while. So the Great Elder now wants to ask Bai Luo's opinion to cultivate some tacit understanding before they go to that place. Now they are all thinking about these things, and now Yang Chen has returned here. Since the Great Elder and the others have confirmed that they will leave tomorrow morning, the Saint Girl wants to gather Bai Luo and the Great Elder and explain some things to them. After all, they can still rest in this place today, and they will leave from this place tomorrow. Therefore, the Saint Girl's affairs must be told to them in time. Bai Luo and the Great Elder are both very important people to the Saint Girl, so of course the Saint Girl does not want to see any problems between the two of them. The Saint immediately sent someone to inform them to go to her room, saying that she had something to tell them. Bai Luo knew what the Saint was worried about, so he went over without any hesitation. When Daijun arrived there, he found that Yangzu and Ziotu were not invited. Only Bai Luo, the Great Elder, and the Saint were there. So when Bai Luo arrived there, he bowed to the Saint and sat in his seat. This showed Bai Luo's thoughts and he didn't dare to say anything because of these things. Suddenly the whole atmosphere became much calmer. After a while, the Great Elder appeared here. When the Saint saw the two people sitting in the same place, she said to them, "You two are both very important to me, so I hope you can return safely from this trip to repair the surveillance stone. If you have any doubts, you can contact me as soon as possible, and I will let the elites of the Holy Land rescue you. So you must not be afraid, and if you have any troubles, you can tell me at once." The Saint explained these things to them before they set out, so at this time they all nodded in understanding, and all assured the Saint that, since the two of them dared to take on this task, they would definitely be able to hand it over and solve it perfectly. So the Saint did not need to worry too much, they would definitely settle these things. When the Saint heard these words from them, the sorrow in her heart dissipated a lot. The Saint knew that, if these things were handed over to Bai Luo, she could relax a little. Now listening to the words of the Great Elder and Bai Luo, the Saint felt very relieved, and did not say anything about these things. And it was obvious that Bai Luo had already understood most of these things, so there was no need to emphasize anything about these things. After they have such familiarity with each other, it will be easier to deal with some things next time, and they don't have to worry about someone trying to sow discord between them. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar released this novel for the first time. So the Saint saw that the two of them were confident and said to them, "Then thank you for your hard work. When this mission is over, I will reward you on behalf of the Holy Land, so I hope you will have a safe journey and return safely." After hearing this, the two stood up and saluted the Saint, and then they went back. Bai Luo returned to the house, but he didn't expect that Yangchen had already arrived at the gate of the Holy Land. At this time, the guards found a familiar face standing there, looking at something. They were all a little confused. At this time, Bao Yangchen stood in front of them and said to them, "I'm Yangchen. Have Bai Luo and the others arrived here?" The guards were not sure who it was at first, but after hearing Yangchen say this, they were sure. They didn't expect Yangchen to come back. At this time, the guards nodded quickly and said to him, "Yes, they have been inside for a long time. You are Yangchen. I didn't expect you to come back so soon. Then please come in with us." After seeing Yangchen, the guards were a little happy. They didn't think too much and took Yangchen in. Yangchen didn't know what happened yet. He followed those people inside. It can be felt that he still doesn't know much about these things now. Chapter 267, coming back suddenly. Otherwise, they might be able to feel the different atmosphere inside. At this time, after Yangchen walked in, he said to them, "Why don't you take me directly to Bai Luo's location? In this way, I can meet up with Bai Luo and the others as soon as possible. As for the Saint, I will go to visit them." Yangchen was a little confused about this. Why did these guards not seem to be targeting them? Could it be that Bai Luo and the others have solved the problem, or is there something else? Now Yangchen didn't know whether he should have some bad feelings towards these guards. He didn't know how to say it, so he could only wait until he found Bai Luo to understand the situation before deciding what to do next. Bai Luo was resting there when he heard the guard outside say, "Bai Luo, Mr. Yangchen is here. He wants to see you." After hearing Yangchen's name, Bai Luo suddenly sobered up. He didn't expect Yangchen to return before they set off. Bai Luo thought he had misheard, So he got up quickly and went outside. Sure enough, he found our Yang Chen standing there looking at him. He was immediately startled, not knowing what was going on. He quickly said to the guard, "Okay, then I get it. Since our Yang Chen is back, you can go down from here first. Don't tell anyone else about this. I will tell them." After hearing what Bai Luo said, the guard did not doubt anything. He thought that Bai Luo must have wanted to tell the elders the good news himself, and they would not care about it. So the guard left this place. Gao Yang Chen was pulled directly into the room by Bai Luo. Seeing Bai Luo's nervous look, Gao Yang Chen couldn't help, but said to Bai Luo, "What's wrong with you? Why do you look so frightened? Did something go wrong again? By the way, I want to ask you, what is a relationship with these elders now? Should we continue to target them? I have already solved the surveillance stone." Hearing Al Yang Chen telling him about his glorious deeds in this place, Bai Luo now feels a little ashamed of Al Yang Chen. After all, Al Yang Chen was just doing things according to his own plan, but he forgot to inform him, which led to the current embarrassing situation. So Bai Luo felt a little embarrassed at this time, and said to Al Yang Chen, "Al Yang Chen, I want to tell you something. You must not be angry, because it is entirely because of my problem. We have explained these things to the elders, and we have figured out who did it. It's not us. The elders have forgiven us, and the conflict between us has been completely resolved. I should have told you, so that the current problem would not happen. In the end, we really forgot about these things. We should have informed you earlier not to destroy the surveillance stone. Now they still have to use the surveillance stone to transmit messages. As a result, only the area we repaired could not be contacted. It was because the surveillance stone was about to be destroyed by us that such an embarrassing thing happened. But we are friends now, so this matter makes me feel very helpless, but you don't have any self-blame. After all, this is all because of me." After hearing Bai Luo's long talk, Bao Yang Chen finally understood what he meant. He was a little stunned. He didn't expect it to be like this. That is to say, he had good intentions, but did bad things this time. Bai Luo and his friends had to go over to repair it again. At this time, Bao Yang Chen was quite speechless. He looked at Bai Luo and said to him with some dissatisfaction, "You should have told me earlier. In this way, we don't have to worry about it in this place. Now they don't know what that thing is. If they know that I'm back, it won't be over." Now Bao Yang Chen realized that his arrival was not very timely. Now Bai Luo and his friends planned to go to that place to repair the surveillance stone. Gao Yang Chen's sudden visit would definitely let the saint and others know that they did all this by themselves. What would those people think at that time? Gao Yang Chen didn't know how to solve it now, and Bai Luo understood that it was normal for Gao Yang Chen to be so flustered. After all, he thought that he was going to receive the reward at this place, but he didn't expect to encounter such a thing. At this time, Bai Luo had to continue to apologize to Al Yang Chen at that place. "I'm so sorry, I really forgot about it." However, Bai Luo and Al Yang Chen have a deep friendship, so they won't be angry about this little thing. What Al Yang Chen is worried about now is how they will report to the elders. Bai Luo understood what he meant and said to him, "I can only be satisfied, but the saint covered for me that day, saying that you still had a mission to complete. I didn't expect you to come back so soon, so the elders will definitely be a little confused when they see you, and we can't hide you here. Because once there is any power fluctuation here, we can detect those elders, so I'm afraid you will appear in the restaurant tonight. Then we will respond flexibly, and don't let it slip." After Bai Luo said this, Bao Yang Chen understood that he couldn't reveal these things, otherwise their peace would be broken, so Bao Yang Chen nodded. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR is the first to publish this novel. Don't worry, I won't tell them. If they ask me what I'm going to do, I'll just say I'm going to perform some tasks. The two people started talking at that place. Bai Luo said to Al Yang Chen, "You did a good job. You did a really good job this time. It's just that my judgment was wrong, so don't worry too much. You really did something I didn't expect before." When Bai Luo said this now, it was from the bottom of his heart, so Al Yang Chen's dissatisfaction was dissipated a lot after Bai Luo said this, but they couldn't completely relax now. As for the Great Elder, they still had to think of a perfect reason. Otherwise, once those people knew about these things, they would definitely be very angry. Well, forget it. Let's take it one step at a time. After you appear there tonight, those elders will definitely ask, so we must be careful and be careful. Bai Luo and our Yang Chen were at that place, talking for a long time. When it was almost night, Bai Luo wanted our Yang Chen to rest first, and then go to the restaurant with him. After all, by then, everyone will know that our Yang Chen has returned. Chapter 268 Explanation. As for what will happen, we can only wait and see. Our Yang Chen is indeed a little tired. He hurried back, just to tell Bai Luo the good news. Unexpectedly, after he came back, it was no longer good news, and it would even have some impact on them. At this time, Our Yang Chen was a little bored, so he fell asleep in that place. When it was almost night, Zairotu and the others came to this place to find Bai Luo. After all, Bai Luo was leaving here tomorrow, and they didn't know whether they would go. It was very likely that this would be the last meal with Bai Luo. Zairotu and the others came to that place early and waited for Bai Luo. Bai Luo heard the noise outside and knew that Zairotu and the others had come, so he opened the door and let them in. Zairotu said to Bai Luo, "Why are you still in the room? Come on, the saints said they will give you a farewell banquet, so the food tonight must be very delicious. We must hurry over and find a good seat." After hearing this, Bai Luo was a little embarrassed at this time and asked them to look inside. Zairotu and the others followed the direction Bai Luo pointed and saw our Yang Chen lying there to rest. Suddenly, the faces of several people became uneasy. Did they know what our Yang Chen represented? Zairotu was a little confused. Why did he come back so soon? I thought he had just solved the surveillance stone, but I didn't expect that he had already completed it. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to return to the Holy Land so soon. Bai Luo had no choice but to nod his head and repeated the process that our Yang Chen had told him to them. Our Yang Zhu was a little worried at this time. If the elder knew about these things, would he still be willing to cooperate with them? Anyway, we must take him there tonight. Even if we leak it, we can only break the jar. Apart from this, we have no other way. Bai Luo now recognized the reality. No matter how hard they tried to hide, they could not hide it to the end. It would be better to talk about it. If they really couldn't hide it, they would tell the truth of the matter and then ask for forgiveness from the elders. This was the most useful method they could think of. Even though they all felt it was a little unreliable, they had no other options. I hope we can get through this night peacefully. After all, the most important thing for us is to get rid of those people, rather than fighting over a small matter. Although Zairotu said this, she could understand the thoughts of those people. After all, the elders would be angry if they were deceived. Lengai followed them at this time and could understand their feelings. Lengai and Zairotu hugged each other and went to the restaurant. When Bai Luo and the others appeared, everyone's eyes naturally focused on our Yang Chen. Our Yang Chen suddenly felt a little oppressive. He didn't expect that he would attract all the attention all of a sudden. The elder was obviously a little shocked. "Didn't you say our Yang Chen went on a mission? How come he came back so soon?" the elder asked at that place. At this time, Bai Luo looked at him and said unnaturally, "His mission ended early, so he came back to this place to meet me." After hearing him say this, the elder nodded without thinking about it and let him go back to this place and rest for a while. At the same time, he said to our Yang Chen, "Then you should have a good rest here. I believe Bai Luo has already told you about the recent events. I won't say anything more to you." Our Yang Chen nodded quickly and didn't talk to the elder about this topic because he was really worried that if he talked too much, it would attract their attention. The saint sat in her seat and said to our Yang Chen first, "Welcome back. I believe Bai Luo should have told you about the misunderstanding between us, so we should unite and cooperate to solve those problems next." At this time, our Yang Chen said very gentlemanly, "That's naturally not good. Since you have already said so, I will definitely make every effort to work with everyone to settle these things." After hearing this, the expressions of the elders eased a little, so they began to eat in this place. At this time, they didn't care about anything. The elders didn't doubt too much about the reason why Yang Chen came back. Only the elder had been thinking about it. Because he felt something was wrong. Yesterday, when he asked about Yang Chen's whereabouts, the saint said that he had a task that had not been completed. How could he come here suddenly? It always felt a bit deliberate. At this time, the elder wanted to ask carefully again, but now that they were celebrating, it was naturally not a good time. So the elder planned to wait until it was over before asking carefully. Read the error-free version at 69 bookbar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. At this time, the saint raised her wine glass and said to the great elder and Bai Luo, tomorrow, it is time for the two of you to go to battle, so please allow me to toast you here and congratulate you on your triumphant return. After hearing this, Bai Luo and the great elder stood up and accepted the saint's toast to them. At this time, the two of them were already accustomed to these things. So the expressions of the two were very sincere, and it could be felt that they accepted the saint's farewell from the bottom of their hearts. So they continued to watch from that place. Everyone saw this scene, and naturally no one said anything because of these things, so they continued to eat dinner there. When they were all finished, the whole dinner came to an end, so they all left. But just when Bai Luo wanted to take Yang Chen away quickly, the great elder caught up with him and said to Yang Chen, Yang Chen, I have a few questions. They may be a little abrupt, but if I don't ask them, I might really have some doubts. After hearing this, Yang Chen felt a little nervous, but he still turned around and said to the great elder, of course, you are my senior. If you have anything to say, just say it directly. Don't worry too much about it. Bai Luo naturally did not leave, but stood beside Yang Chen, intending to guide him immediately when he said something wrong. So the great elder at this time was there, asking questions. Bai Luo said, you were alone in that place to complete a mission. What was the mission? Why did you come back suddenly? Chapter 269 Excusable. The question from the great elder caught Yang Chen off guard. He really didn't expect that the great elder would ask so many questions. At first, he just wanted to evade the question, but he didn't expect that the great elder would ask so many questions. So Yang Chen laughed at that place. It's some simple tasks. Since we have been looking for a place, I naturally have to go there. Besides, Bai Luo and I have been separated for a long time. This time, I knew that they returned to the Holy Land, so I immediately returned from that area. Fortunately, I met him before Bai Luo left. After Yang Chen said this, the great elder asked some more questions. Yang Chen thought he had no doubts, but he didn't expect that. He still let the word slip. Yes, I just came back from the monitoring room. After Yang Chen said this, his whole body froze. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. The great elder just asked him what the content of the task was, but Yang Chen was too nervous and still said all these things. The elder stared at him in shock and said to him, what is going on? You said you came back from the surveillance stone, so what is your mission? Is it to repair it? After seeing this scene, Bai Luo knew that it was too late, but he would be discovered after all. At this time, Bai Luo stepped forward and said to the elder, please come with us. We may have to explain these things to you in detail, so that you can understand. The elder understood that Bai Luo had some confidential words to tell him, so he went to another private room with them. Here, only Bai Luo and Yang Chen were there. So at this time, Bai Luo spoke and told the elder what happened. We were really too impulsive at the beginning, which is why we let Yang Chen destroy the surveillance stone. If we hadn't done that, we wouldn't have to repair it now. Anyway, great elder, it's really my fault, so I hope you can blame it all on me. Yang Chen did nothing wrong. Yang Chen just listened to me. This time, I will definitely repair the surveillance stone as soon as possible, and will definitely not delay any of our work. If you want to punish us, then that's fine. After saying this, Bai Luo looked like he accepted everything. He was very sincere. He bowed his head and spoke to the great elder. The great elder understood what happened and was not angry as Bai Luo thought. Instead, he thought it was justifiable. He could understand why Bai Luo and the others did this. The great elder laughed at this time. No need for that. I thought something else happened. I'm still wondering why Yang Chen didn't come back with you. When the saint lady said that, I felt something was wrong. Plus, when I saw Yang Chen today, he looked a little flustered. I knew you were definitely lying to me about something, but I didn't expect it to be this. I'm actually a little angry, but I think it's understandable, so you don't have to worry so much. If I were you, I would definitely be angry and do something extreme when I was inexplicably abandoned. So now you just need to correct what you're doing. So Bai Luo and Yang Chen, you don't have to feel too bad. We are going to repair it anyway, so next we just need to restore the place to its original state, and there will be no problem. Bai Luo was stunned when he heard the Great Elder say this. He thought that the Great Elder would be furious when he heard this, thinking that they were the ones who destroyed it. Unexpectedly, the Great Elder was so reasonable and thought that all this was normal. So Bai Luo said with some doubt, "Are you really not angry about these things? I really feel a little embarrassed, so I apologize to you here. After all, we really did these things wrong, and we shouldn't be petty." After Bai Luo said this, the elder patted his shoulder, patted Yang Chen, and continued to talk to them. "Since I have said this, it means that this is what I think in my heart. If it were in the past, when I was young, I would do the same thing as you, so I won't punish you for these things. Besides, Bai Luo, you took the initiative to help us solve these things. The surveillance stone was repaired by you, so it is understandable that you were angry and destroyed that place at the beginning. And now you have agreed to help us repair that place again, so why should I be angry with you because of these things?" After the elder said this, he looked at Bai Luo very calmly. Bai Luo was shocked by this result. Although he thought that the Great Elder would not say anything, he did not expect that the Great Elder would accept all this so peacefully. He originally thought that there would be some quarrels between him and the elders, but he did not expect that the Great Elder would say these words so freely. So at this moment, Bai Luo felt very happy and laughed at that place. "Yes, Great Elder, I have judged you by my own standards. I thought a little bad of you, so I have not dared to tell you. If I had known that you had such an opinion, I should have told you directly. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time." Bai Luo said these words from the bottom of his heart, and the Great Elder did not feel unhappy when he heard Bai Luo say this, but nodded. "Yes, so we need to get to know each other a few more times." The two of them solved this problem. The one who was most relaxed was naturally Yang Chen. He could finally let out the breath he had been holding tightly. Otherwise, he might have to stay in this place and be afraid for a while. The elder told them not to take it to heart. He wanted to tell the saint, but then he thought about it. The saint had covered for Bai Luo in the beginning, which meant that she knew that these things were related to Bai Luo. The elder laughed at this time. "It seems that our saint girl is the smartest among them. I will not say anything more because of these things. Since we are leaving tomorrow, Bai Luo, you should go back and have a good rest. By the way, have you decided who you are going to take with you? After all, we are leaving tomorrow. If you are still not sure, then there may be some delays." After hearing this, Bai Luo remembered that he had not yet decided whether to let Xiaotu and the others go together. Now that he heard the Great Elder mention these things, Bai Luo said to the Great Elder, "I still need to think about it for a while, so when I have news, I will tell you as soon as possible. You should go back and have a good rest. I still want to thank you. You are so magnanimous. We will definitely repair that place." Chapter 270 Departure. After saying this, Bai Luo had to think about who to take with him, so he planned to go back and ask Zhu and Leng Yu. There was no problem with the little rabbit. If he wanted him to accompany him, the little rabbit would follow them. After Yang Chen came back, they had one more person and could continue to join the team. Seeing that the elder did not say anything about this matter, Bai Luo and Yang Chen finally did not have to worry anymore, so they talked to the elder for a while and returned to the room. Seeing the two of them look relieved, Zhu could sense that this matter should be better than they thought. So Zhu ran to Bai Luo and asked nervously, "Has the elder noticed these things? I think he seems to understand what is wrong. He didn't embarrass you, did he?" Seeing Liangzu's nervous look, Bai Luo immediately laughed and told them happily, "It's okay. Although we finally found out what Liangchen had done, I really didn't expect that he didn't say a word and even said that it was understandable and he could understand why we did it. So we finally don't have to continue acting here." Zio too was listening on the side and was a little nervous. Suddenly, when she heard Bai Luo's answer, she didn't know what to say. Really? This elder is much better than we thought. It seems that we have always thought that he is not easy to talk to. I didn't expect him to be like this. So Xiaota smiled, and Lengai was also very happy at this time. Lengai said to Bai Luo, "Then we can confirm it next." After saying this, Bai Luo began to talk to them. "By the way, we have to determine who will follow us to finally repair those surveillance stones, but I haven't thought about it yet. What opinions do you have? You can speak freely here and say what you want to say." After hearing this, everyone present began to look at each other. Zio too was the first to express his opinion. He said to Bai Luo, "I'm sure it's okay. I can go with you wherever you go, so don't worry too much. I will definitely go with you." After Xiaota said this, Bai Luo couldn't help but joked, "If Lengai doesn't go, you won't give up on me as a brother." After hearing this, Lengai laughed. "Bai Luo, it's okay for me. I will go with you." After Lengai said this, Xiaota laughed. "Yes, I'm sure Lengai will go with you, so I'm so determined. When the time comes, we will repair that place and we won't have to worry about anything." At this time, Bai Luo nodded and said to the two of them, "With you two accompanying me, this matter will definitely be resolved faster." So after Bai Luo said this, he turned his head and looked at Liangzu on the side, asking about his thoughts. "Liangzu, what about you? Are you going to go with us?" After Liangzu said this, Bai Luo could actually understand what Liangzu was thinking. Liangzu would definitely choose to go with Bai Luo and the others. After all, Liangzu had experienced so much with them, and she would definitely not change anything because of this incident. So when Bai Luo asked these questions, he was actually very calm. Moreover, with his understanding of Liangzu, he knew what was the most important thing in Liangzu's heart, and she would definitely not say anything because of these things. So at this time, Liangzu looked at Bai Luo and laughed. He saw the trust in himself from Bai Luo's eyes, so he pretended to be reluctant and said to Bai Luo, "But I don't want to go with you. I want to stay here." Sure enough, Bai Luo's face changed, but Bai Luo quickly said to Liangzu, "If you really think so, then you can stay here with the same girl and the others. I won't force anything." Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 +_. After hearing this, Liangzu kept observing Bai Luo and then laughed. "How is it possible? I will definitely go to where you are. As long as you don't have any other requirements, I will of course always be by your side." Bai Luo laughed after hearing this. Although he could feel that Liangzu might be joking just now, he didn't expect that he really took this matter seriously, so the two of them smiled at each other and decided on this matter. Unexpectedly, when they went to the saint again, the situation changed. At this time, the disciple who was rescued was able to sit there and talk to them. At this time, he was very sad. Although his body was much better than before, the shadows in his heart were still not erased. He really hated those who pretended to be Xiaota and others too much. They hurt so many elders, so the disciple asked the saint, as soon as he recovered, asking them to go to that place quickly, find clues, and solve them, and they couldn't delay any longer. "Saintess, they have dealt with all the elders. I ask you to send someone to deal with them as soon as possible. Instead of repairing the so-called surveillance stone here, it is better to kill them before they reach other areas. They are too dangerous. In this way, there is no need to worry about the damage to various areas. So I think the most urgent thing is to find those beasts instead of repairing the so-called surveillance stone." The words of the disciple woke up these people. What they pursued at the beginning should be this result. They all remembered it wrongly and actually regarded other things as very important. After visiting the disciple, the saint felt that what he said was really right. They actually successfully ignored this point and were still obsessed with repairing the communication equipment in that place, not knowing that those people were the real danger. The disciples' reminder now can be said to have made them understand at once. At this time, Gao Yangzu and Bai Luo came here together. They could see the shame on the saint's face and feel that the saint seemed to feel a little sorry for these people because of her original decision. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 Change. So at this time the saint looked at Bai Luo, Gao Yangzu and others in front of her. The saint first stood up and bowed to them. When Bai Luo saw this, he immediately returned the greeting and said to the saint, "You don't have to be so polite. No matter what happens, your status is nobler than ours, so there is no need to be like this." After Bai Luo said this, the saint spoke helplessly and said to them, "I'm really sorry, everyone. Our plan has changed. We didn't expect such a mistake to happen suddenly, but it was indeed my inconsideration. I actually forgot about this matter. Let's not repair the surveillance stone anymore. The current priority should be to find those pretending people. So our plan needs to be changed from repairing the surveillance stone to finding those pretending people and getting rid of them. So please make adjustments and set off tomorrow according to the original plan. I have already told the elders about this matter, so I have to tell you again." After hearing this, Bai Luo did not refuse. After all, he had to help the saint, so no matter what the task became, he would do it. Besides, it would be easier for Bai Luo to deal with those people. After all, Bai Luo found them and solved them as soon as possible. In this way, there is no need to worry about people using their reputation to do bad things outside. Today, Zio2 is quite satisfied with this result, so they all nodded and didn't say anything more. Seeing that the saint seemed a little ashamed at this time, Bai Luo comforted her and told her that they didn't mind these things. Bai Luo patted the saint's back gently with his hand. He knew that the saint had been too tired during this period of time. So after experiencing so many things, the saint must be very confused. So Bai Luo thought, why not take the saint with him, so that the saint can relax outside. In fact, if Bai Luo didn't say that, the saint also planned to go. After all, those people killed so many elders. As the saint of the Holy Land, she must go to avenge them and bring them a good ending. Therefore, the saint had already made up her mind to hunt down those who had fled. She would go with them, and the Great Elder and other elders were not here because they were deciding who to send. Therefore, all the decisions would depend on tomorrow morning's decision. The saint had given them great freedom. As long as they could reach an agreement among themselves, anyone could be sent out, so there was no need to worry. At this time, everyone was there, comforting the saint, and Leng Yu suddenly felt dizzy. He felt that the things around him seemed to be spinning in circles, and he felt very weak. Although he was sitting there, Leng Yu felt that his body was controlled. At this time, he didn't know what to say, and soon lost consciousness, and fell on the table. The sudden noise startled Zio2, who was standing by. He turned around, and saw that Leng Yu had fainted. Zio2 immediately became nervous, and began to shake Leng Yu in that place, saying to Leng Yu, "Wake up, Leng Yu, what happened to you?" Zio2 did not expect such a sudden situation to happen at this time, and immediately called Leng Yu's name desperately in that place. Zio2's voice attracted the attention of others. Gao Yangzu, who was very close to him, stepped forward immediately. Bai Luo and the saint also rushed over at this time, and hurriedly checked Leng Yu's condition in that place. At this time, the saint remembered that when Leng Yu came back with him, he still had some injuries on his body that had not healed. It might be because he forgot to take medicine during this period, so his body was a little weak. At this time, Bai Luo took a look and asked Zio2 to take Leng Yu to his room first, and then he would give him a more perfect diagnosis. After hearing this, Zio2 didn't dare to delay. He immediately picked up Leng Yu and ran to his room. At this time, Zio2 was a little nervous. He really couldn't imagine how he would live if Leng Gaiu had any problems. After all, the relationship between him and Leng Gaiu was very deep. Both of them had engraved each other into their bones and blood. They simply couldn't accept that the other party had any problems. At this time, Xiao2 immediately returned there. Bai Luo and his group went to Xiao2's room in a mighty manner. At this time, Leng Gaiu was put on the bed by them, and Bai Luo began to check quickly. After looking around, Bai Luo put down his heart, and he said something to Xiao2 first. It's okay. Leng Yu doesn't have any serious problems. He's just a little weak. I'm afraid he needs to rest for a while. It seems that the injury he suffered was really serious, so his body has not fully recovered. During this period of time, he may have been worried and frightened, and various things were mixed together. He was overloaded, so he fainted. Don't worry. Leng Yu's physique was originally weak, so they could understand what happened. The error-free version is available at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar is the first to publish this novel. At this time, they were guarding this place, and Bai Luo said to them, everyone doesn't have to guard this place. There is someone watching here. Leng Yu needs to give him enough breathing space. Everyone can watch here for a while, and then go back first. After saying this, they all nodded. No one thought that Leng Yu would suddenly have such a situation. Bai Luo immediately confirmed that Leng Yu couldn't go with them. Otherwise, if there were any problems on the way, it would not be so easy for Bai Luo and others to save Leng Yu. To be on the safe side, let Leng Yu stay in the Holy Land. The remaining elders can still take care of him, so there is no need to worry about anything. At this time, after Xiao2 heard Bai Luo's words, the big stone in his heart was finally shattered, but he was still a little worried. Someone must take care of Leng Yu, otherwise, he really didn't feel at ease to leave this place. They didn't expect these things to happen. They were originally planning to go out and chase those people tomorrow, but Leng Yu suddenly fainted. For Xiao2, this might affect his decision. Bai Luo glanced at Xiao2 and found that Xiao2's face was full of seriousness. Bai Luo realized that it seemed to be troublesome. If Xiao2 couldn't bear to leave Leng Yu and didn't want to go and wanted to stay here to accompany him, Bai Luo couldn't refuse anything. Chapter 272, Change of Plan. After all, Xiao2 has his own freedom. Bai Luo can't force him, so Bai Luo made the worst plan. That is, Xiao2 doesn't go with them, and then they go together, and they should be able to solve some problems. But it will definitely not be as smooth as Xiao2. After all, Xiao2's strength is second only to Bai Luo among these people, so Bai Luo likes to have him help him. If Xiao2 can't go this time, it will be a pity for Bai Luo. But Bai Luo didn't say anything more, but returned to his room. At this time, Bai Luo and our Hangzhou hugged and talked in that place. We are leaving tomorrow, but these things happened today. Fortunately, it's still early now. I'm going to ask Xiao2 if he wants to go with us. After hearing this, Gao Hangzhou's mood was the same as Bai Luo's, because he couldn't be sure of Xiao2's thoughts. Although Leng Yu was not seriously injured, judging from Xiao2's true love for Daoist, it is very likely that he didn't want to leave and just wanted to take care of Leng Yu in this place. At this time, Gao Hangzhou saw Bai Luo's hesitation, and he began to say to Bai Luo, how about this? I will stay to take care of Leng Yu, and then you go with Xiao2 and the sane girl, and wait until you have solved the problem over there, and come back as soon as possible. In this way, there should be no big problem. Bai Luo did not expect that Ao Hangzhou would make such a move. Ao Hangzhou held Ao Hangzhou's hand tightly and said to Ao Hangzhou, do you really think so? Don't wrong yourself. You are very important here. If you don't want to stay in this place, then we can think of other ways at that time. There is no need to force yourself here. After hearing this, Ao Hangzhou could feel that Bai Luo was really thinking about himself, which was enough for Ao Hangzhou. What he wanted to see was Bai Luo's attention to him. Bai Luo now expressed it like this, which was particularly in line with Ao Hangzhou's thoughts. Ao Hangzhou's thoughts had been realized, so she was more willing to pay. Ao Hangzhou laughed, held Bai Luo's hand, and talked to him there. It's okay. Leng Yu definitely needs someone to take care of him. Among these people, my strength is just not as good as Saint Girl and Xiao2. These two are relatively familiar to Leng Yu. I must stay here. It can't be you and our Yang Chen. You still have to go out together to solve those things. The most important thing is to get rid of those people, which is also our most dangerous task. Apart from that, I think other things can be put aside. No one wants Leng Yu to have such a problem suddenly, but I'm a girl. Staying here to take care of Leng Yu will make me feel more relaxed. And Leng Yu and I have known each other for so long. We are good sisters, so I can take good care of him. Besides, Xiao too will be relieved. With me here, he doesn't have to worry about anything anymore. These reasons given by Yangzu made Bai Luo unable to refute. Indeed, things were just as he said. Yangzu was really the best candidate besides Xiao too. Although Bai Luo had thought about it, he didn't want to interfere with Yangzu's decision, so he didn't tell Yangzu. Now that Yangzu mentioned it, Bai Luo felt very impressed with Yangzu's idea. He really didn't expect that Yangzu would make such a concession. Bai Luo hugged Yangzu and said to Yangzu gratefully, "Thank you so much, Yangzu. With your idea, I should be more relaxed here." I don't know what to say. After Yangzu heard this, they could clearly feel that they cared about these things, so no one said anything because of these things. And they could feel that they seemed to have some new understanding of these things, and they could stay in this place more relaxedly. Although this process may be a little complicated, since it is their choice, there is no way to change anything. So at this time, Yangzu decided to do so. Bai Luo planned to go to Xiao Tu in a while, to see how Leng Yu was doing, and ask him what he thought. If Xiao Tu wants to stay here, Bai Luo wants to ask him if it is okay if Yangzu is the one to stay. At this time, Bai Luo was in that place, talking to Yangzu. After the saint made the decision, she planned to appear there tomorrow morning. In this way, Bai Luo and the others would understand what she meant. The saint did not need to say anything more. Since she had already thought so, the other elders had already known about it. They did not have any intention of rejecting it too much, because they could understand the pain in the saint's heart, so they were relatively supportive of his approach. So even after hearing what he said, they did not show much denial. It was because they knew that the saint would definitely choose this way, so in this way, they could stay in this place with more peace of mind. The saint now knew that they had to lock all those people up this time. At least they had to make them pay a heavy price, otherwise, all their efforts would be in vain. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. At this time, the saint went back to rest, and Bai Luo talked with Yangzu for a while. After coaxing him to sleep, he came to Leng Yu's room and found that Xiao Tu was still sitting there. It seemed that Xiao Tu had waited for Leng Yu to wake up, and Leng Yu fell asleep again. Xiao Tu was taking care of him. Seeing this, Bai Luo said to Xiao Tu, "Can you come out with me now?" Xiao Tu heard the familiar voice and looked back. It was indeed Bai Luo. He understood Bai Luo's intention, so he nodded, put down the hand holding Leng Yu, and walked out of the room. Before Bai Luo opened his mouth to ask, Xiao Tu spoke. "It's okay, I will go with you this time. As for Leng Yu, he just told me that he can take care of himself in this place by himself, so he asked me to go with you." Seeing Xiao Tu say this, Bai Luo could guess that Leng Yu didn't want him to drag him down. So he asked Xiao Tu to go with Bai Luo and the others, and Leng Yu's words should be very tough. So Xiao Tu had no way to refuse, and only followed Bai Luo's advice. Chapter 273 Reaching an Agreement. Bai Luo laughed, patted Xiao Tu's shoulder, pulled him to sit on a chair beside him, and said to him, "I don't know you yet. Even if Leng Yu forced you to agree to these things, you would still worry about him. So just now, Yangzu and I have agreed to let Yangzu stay here to accompany Leng Yu. You go with me to solve those things. In this way, you won't worry anymore. With me here, I will definitely be able to solve these things." After saying this, Xiao Tu could obviously see that his face was smiling a lot more. He looked at Bai Luo with surprise, and said to Bai Luo, "Really? You are not lying to me. Yangzu is really willing to stay. She is so nice. I thought she wanted to go with you." After hearing this, Bai Luo could understand Xiaotu's hidden meaning. That is, Xiaotu did not want to impose his own ideas on Yangzu. It seems that they are indeed friends. They are both considering each other, so they can achieve a deep friendship. Bai Luo nodded. We will set out early tomorrow morning and find and kill those people as soon as possible. If those who imitated us see you there, they will definitely fall back immediately. And I always feel that if they are deliberately imitated by others, they must have used some kind of magic. And this kind of magic will not have any other reactions when encountering the original body like you, so it should be very necessary to take you there. After hearing this, Xiaotu nodded and agreed with Bai Luo's statement. He had learned about many things before. Things related to this ability should be listed as forbidden to talk about. Because this thing is too powerful and can copy a person's ability, it means that once this kind of magic exists, it is very likely to cause a greater crisis, so those people will try their best to avoid it. Now this method has reappeared in the arena. It means that someone must have injected something into it. If they can't solve it in the first time, it will cause very complicated things for them. No one can solve these things smoothly. After saying this, they seem to understand the seriousness of these things, so after a few words, they all go back to rest. Finally, it was time to set off. After resting last night, everyone was standing outside. The elders stood there to see them off. The saint and Bai Luo were there. The great elder was standing beside the saint. Bai Luo saw the saint and understood that he was going to go too. After Bai Luo knew what the saint was thinking, he didn't say much. He could only say to the saint, "We can go on a mission together again." The saint was very happy at this time. When he saw Yangzu supporting Leng Yu, he stepped forward and asked about Leng Yu's injury. "If you feel uncomfortable, you can tell the doctors here. They will help you as soon as possible. You can use any medicine they have. As long as it is good for your body, you must take more." After hearing what the saint said, Leng Yu nodded, patted his hand, and told him, "With Yangzu accompanying me, what are you worried about?" At this time, Yangzu nodded at the saint, as if to tell them that she would take good care of Leng Yu and let them rest assured to carry out the mission. At this time, the saint came forward and hugged Leng Yu and Yangzu, asking them to stay here. The elders would provide them with some protection, and there were certain restrictions in the Holy Land, and things outside could not hurt them at all. So even if they left here, they didn't have to worry. At this time, the saint turned around and looked at Bai Luo, Bao Yangchen, Xiaotu, and the elder standing behind her. At this time, the saint said to everyone, "We will say goodbye today. I don't know when we will meet again, but please believe us. We will complete the task as soon as possible, return to this place, and reunite with everyone. Then we will be able to stay in this place better." After saying this, everyone was there at this time. They were protecting them and hoping that they could return safely, so they all got on the carriage and planned to go there. Originally, Bai Luo planned to use their abilities to fly directly there, but because they still had to determine the specific location, it would not be so easy for a while. This morning, the disciple provided them with some information. He remembered the last place he went to. After telling the saint the location, the saint could direct them to get there. In this way, there is no need to worry anymore, so they all started to search in that place. At this time, the elder took a unique tool and determined the final location. The place that the disciple said was the last place where those people left, and the place where those elders sacrificed gravity. So at this time, the saint and the elder were in a heavy mood. They didn't want to see some scenes, but there was no way. They brought them to this place for them to settle down and let them stay here with peace of mind. So the saint brought some tools to collect the bones of those elders and bury them in the Holy Land. It also let them rest in peace. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. At this time, Bai Luo and Xiaotu, they didn't say much along the way, but exchanged some opinions with each other. The rest of the time, most of them were silent, because they knew that this was a blow to the people in the Holy Land. They soon arrived at the area where the incident occurred. As expected, it would be easy to get to the location, so everyone came here. However, when they saw the scene in front of them, they felt as if they had come to the wrong place. It was simply unbelievable that this was a fertile land. The tragic scene in front of them was like a sheriff field. Bai Luo had never seen such a scene before, and even he was frightened and retreated a little. In the midst of this, the current saint was already crying and kneeling directly in that place, ignoring the existence of corpses everywhere. The clothes worn by those corpses were the clothes of the elders, indicating the identities of these people, that is, the elders. So seeing their miserable state, the saint would be emotionally broken. After seeing this, Bai Luo squatted on the ground to comfort the saint, holding the saint in his arms, and his hands were shaking. Bai Luo had never seen such a scene before. He only saw several corpses falling from the tree in front of him. The corpses were riddled with holes, and the intact skin could not be seen at all. Chapter 274. Horrible. The most cruel thing was that their heads had been chopped off and hung on the trees nearby. The entire ground was stained red with blood, and some broken arms and limbs could be seen. Not far from them, there was a corpse rushing towards them, its face unrecognizable. Various bloody smells were interspersed in this place, and some clothes seemed to be telling these dead people. They could understand what kind of scenes they had suffered in their lives, just by looking at this place, and they could understand the cruelty of those people. They were extremely evil for being able to treat these elders like this. The current great elder tried his best to suppress the anger in his heart, but he was still furious at the scene in front of him. He began to walk forward step by step. He could no longer recognize the companions who had traveled with him in the past. He could only see the wreckage all over the ground. For the great elder, it was simply a huge shock. The saint was even more unable to look at the scene in front of him. Bai Luo had to cover his eyes. Gao Yangchen and Xiaota fell into silence for a long time. Even Xiaota couldn't bear to look directly at it. He thought that as an ancient beast, he would live longer than these humans. He had experienced many so-called wars, and he had seen many corpses everywhere, but he really couldn't say anything about the tragic scene in front of him. The corpses continued to shake in that place. The wind blew the branches, and the sound made seemed to indicate the misfortune of this place. The elder walked to the side of the corpses, and his perseverance insisted on responding. Who didn't expect it? He was able to walk calmly in this place, and Bai Luo could feel from the trembling back of the elder that he was strongly suppressing his inner emotions. Otherwise, he would have collapsed like the saint. Just like them, people who only met those elders once couldn't accept it, not to mention these, how sad they were in their hearts after experiencing them for so long. Bai Luo asked the saint to stay beside him and rest, not to see the scene in front of him. At the same time, he injected a little power into the saint, making him fall asleep temporarily. In this way, he could stabilize the saint's emotions in the first place, and gently put the saint on the ground. Bai Luo walked forward a few steps. Bai Luo's endurance should be very good among these people. He saw that there was a very large earth pit on the other side. In the earth pit, Bai Luo did not dare to look over. He could only smell a foul smell. Presumably, the corpses here should have been killed by those people in a more cruel way. Bai Luo finally forced himself to take a look, and found that there were layers of bones inside. There were also some other traces nearby, which seemed to be spreading everywhere. That is to say, those corpses were not only what they saw in front of them, but there should be other elders' corpses around them. After all, although they did not send many people this time, but Yu Ren only had one disciple, and it was conceivable that those people had done something to the rest of the people. The elder walked for a while and finally fainted in the earth pit. Seeing this, Bao Yangchen immediately brought the elder over and injected some power into him like Bai Luo. At this time, Bai Luo didn't know what to say. He only knew that his inner indignation reached its peak at this moment. He really wanted to get rid of those who pretended to be them as soon as possible. After all, Bai Luo understood that these people took advantage of Xiaotu's identity to gain trust, committed evil, and finally used such cruel means to get rid of them. All these sins should be borne by them. Damn it, let us find these people quickly. I will make them suffer such pain. Xiaota now roared angrily in that place. His expression was very annoyed, and our Yangchen also had a gloomy face. He didn't know what to say, but just wanted to help these people who died tragically and get justice. Bai Luo began to clean up little by little, but found that he seemed to have no way to collect them all, as if here being set some restrictions by someone. Bai Luo's anger, which had reached its peak, completely broke out at this moment. Bai Luo used his own power to put the things here together again, but this scene still left a very deep impression in Bai Luo's mind. Bai Luo could not restore these bones to their original state, and could only store them in some containers, so that he could fulfill the wish of the saint to take them home. After all, the saint came this time to bring these sacrificed elders back, but if the saint woke up and saw such a tragic scene, he would definitely not be able to bear it. So Bai Luo could only use his own ability to help him complete these things, so that the saint could take them back with confidence, so Bai Luo would clean up here. Xiao too saw that Bai Luo was silent, and knew that he must be very annoyed in his heart. They were already familiar with each other's personalities. People like Bai Luo would be more angry the more silent they were, because Bai Luo would not show it too obviously, but once he was very silent, it meant that he was already thinking about the plan of revenge. So at this time, they all took the initiative to gather those things together. Xiao too did not say anything, and their mood fell to the bottom again. Facing the tragic deaths in front of them, the only thing they could do was to find those people. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus book bar published this novel for the first time. At the same time, the shadows that committed the crime quickly evacuated there. They were able to detect the approach of the original body at the first time. When Bai Luo and the others arrived here immediately, those people had just completed their masterpieces. They looked at the miserable situation on the ground with satisfaction, and felt that this time it was done very well. They wanted to appreciate it for a while, but unexpectedly, they suddenly felt the approach of Xiao too and the others, and their faces suddenly showed disgust. These shadows have a certain hostility to the original body, and when the original body is hurt, it will be reflected on these shadows. But when these shadows are hurt, it will not affect the original body. So these shadows know that they must leave those original bodies, and sometimes, when fighting with them, they must also pay attention that they cannot attack themselves, otherwise, it will be a huge attack for these shadows. They hate the original body so much. If they can get rid of them, then they can live in this world with a clear conscience. As the evil side, they naturally want to eliminate Xiao too and his friends. In this way, they can use Xiao too's identity to continue to survive in this place. Chapter 275 Demon. But this is just the understanding of outsiders. In the eyes of those shadows, they are the real subjects, so when they feel Bai Luo and his approach, they leave immediately. Because they cannot meet Bai Luo for the time being. After all, they all know Bai Luo's ability. There is no copy of Bai Luo here, which explains everything. Because they have no way to copy Bai Luo's ability, it is because Bai Luo's ability is too strong that those shadows will leave immediately. Coupled with their disgust for the original body, they quickly disappeared here. So when Bai Luo and his friends came here, they could only feel the remnant of a kind of power, and there was no way to chase them. After Bai Luo cleaned up the place with great difficulty, his emotions calmed down a little. The main reason is that they still have to look for those who fled, so now Bai Luo looked around again, and found that there was a village not far from here. There must be some residents there who should have witnessed all this. So Bai Luo planned to go to that place and ask them carefully, and now the saint girl needs a place to rest well. He has suffered such a blow, so he naturally needs to rest for a while. Only after they calmly understood the evil deeds of those people, they will be able to leave this place. So Bai Luo spoke to Xiao too and Chen. Let's take them to the nearby village first and let them rest. Such a shock will definitely be difficult for them to accept for a while. And those residents may find out where those fake people ran to. Since we want to catch up with them, we must hurry up as soon as possible. Xiao too understood what Bai Luo meant, so he stood up and picked up the saint girl. Chen helped the great elder up, and Bai Luo stepped forward to help Chen, and they walked towards the village. The people there were very afraid of outsiders, because they had witnessed such a tragedy, so they didn't dare to go out at any sign of trouble. When Bai Luo and his friends arrived there, they saw the scene of every household with their doors closed. Bai Luo could guess that as eyewitnesses, they could understand the cruelty. After all, people like them who only saw the results could no longer bear it, not to mention people who saw it like them. They certainly couldn't stay in this place well. At this time, Bai Luo could only try to knock on their doors one by one to see if they could let them stay in this place for a while, and by the way, find out what they all knew. As soon as Bai Luo knocked on the door, a voice came from inside. "Don't be here, I don't know anything, don't be here." The tone of that voice was filled with fear. It can be felt that the people outside were like a flood and a beast to him, so he didn't want to have any communication with Bai Luo at all. Seeing this, Bai Luo had to take Zero2 and the others to another house. As a result, no matter which house they chose, the result was the same. It seemed that they were still very afraid of them. Zero2 was helpless at this time. What's wrong with them? It seems that they don't want to see us at all. Could it be that they were really scared by those people? Otherwise, they wouldn't be so scared. After listening, Bai Luo nodded. That's for sure. They witnessed such a bloody and tragic scene. They must be very afraid of people from outside. I'm worried that they will be equally scared when they see you. When Bai Luo said this, he looked at Yang Chen and Zero2. The two were very helpless at this time. They didn't do anything, but they were framed to do a bunch of bad things. This led to the victims thinking that it was them who did it when they saw Zero2 and Yang Chen for the first time. So they were quite speechless at this time. The more I talk, the more I want to find them quickly, otherwise I don't know what they will do in this place with our faces. After they tried several more times, they could only stay in this place because no one let them in. They walked all over the place, but couldn't find any place that agreed. Bai Luo was a little angry at this time. He was not angry at these people, but at those violent people. He wanted to catch them quickly and let them try their strength so as to reduce the damage to this place. If Bai Luo couldn't get more information at this time, he would not be able to determine where those people went. So at this time, Bai Luo could only use his voice to convey his power to the ears of every citizen and tell them, if they didn't come out quickly, they would get rid of them as soon as possible, and there would be no stop. When Bai Luo said this, it can be said that Zero2 and Yang Chen were shocked. Neither of them knew why Bai Luo said this. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book underscore bar released this novel for the first time. You are not crazy. Are you really going to do it to them? They are all poor people. Of course we can't do it to them. After saying this, it can be clearly felt that Yang Chen seems to have completely misunderstood the meaning of these things. Zero2 looked at Bai Luo at this time and said to him, "Do you want to use this method to make them come out and understand the situation?" Bai Luo nodded after seeing that Zero2 had understood what he meant. Yes, only by using this method of coercion can they come out obediently. Otherwise, they will hide in it because of fear and say nothing. If they say nothing, then what other evidence can we get? What we want is the specific information of those people. The more we get, the better. So we must watch this place next. After Bai Luo said this, Yang Chen could understand, so they were together in that place, intimidating those people, because Bai Luo knew that they would definitely be afraid and come out to see them, so that they could ask them. Sure enough, after Bai Luo and the others said it several times, those people finally opened the door and came out little by little. They all leaned on each other tightly, not knowing what had happened. They didn't dare to be negligent and had to sit there one by one. In this way, they could truly get everything in the end instead of worrying about a small matter. When the people saw Bai Luo and his men, they felt like they had seen a ghost. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.